guys, welcome everyone. We're about to start with the top 8 for our tournament today. Oh my god, that's not it. Now we're here. Alright, we're about to start with our top 8 for our tournament today. Here to introduce our commentators, we have TVH and Toon Laguna on commentary today, so let me have them join us. Hi guys, we are live now. I'm about to share the screen. We're about to start.
Cool.
We're starting with JoeCrush and Tim on top 8 winner side, and I'll leave you guys to it.
And they can hear us now?
Yes, they can hear you.
So we are in your channel, right?
Yes.
Right now. Cool.
Yes, and y'all can see the game, right?
Yep.
Can indeed. Alrighty then. Hello. Good evening and welcome to Tekken 7 Amogus Edition, hosted by the wonderful Anya. I am here with Toon, a professional commentator of Evo Glory. We are about to start with the first match of the evening with JoeCrush versus VicariousTim. How are you feeling about this matchup?
Well, as a Dragonif main myself, granted I have not played for in that long, but hey, as Dragonif main myself, man, Jack is such a weird concept. It has evolved over time into a more doable matchup than a kind of sad matchup after the changes for Dragonif, so kind of go 50-50 depending on how I'm feeling on the day, but I think I would still give it to Tim's Dragonif, as Anya gave us the intel that JoeCrush is a multi-character player. Not even listed. Jack is not even listed within the ones that she told us about. So maybe JoeCrush is going for a different strat tonight, wanting to try out something new.
That's a bit of a surprise because in my experience, JoeCrush is a Jack specialist. That's usually the character I see him on. And of course, JoeCrush is going to be the man to beat tonight because he has a long string of glory behind him, especially in online tournaments. And something I want to point out is he finished just short of top 16 in Evo. You know, 17th place, it makes him 17th in the world, and that's an extremely good finish. So expect him to put up a good fight against Dragonov, but Tim with an excellent first round to start us off.
A very aggro style of Dragonov that we're seeing right here starts out with a low, but of course Joe is going to punish accordingly. Granted, not much of a back and forth. They're pretty much just playing neutral right here, waiting for an opportunity to punish. I would like to see if there is going to be any impetus coming through from Jack to go for some low parries as well. As you can see here, that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm waiting to see an answer to, and Joe is going to get this round.
Yep, Joe really adjusting quickly. I am not surprised. You do not play as many characters as Joe does. You do not rack up as many wins as he has, unless you are a strong, adaptable, mentally swift player. And he is able to keep that pressure going without feeling too pressured himself. You can tell that he is not at all intimidated by Tim's defensive options, by his aggro, by his grapples. He's just, come at me. Give me what you got.
Enrage, however. Oh, and it's going to be a whiff. Big loss for Tim, as he will be punished accordingly later on. That was a huge chance he had by his side. And the aggro style of Dragonov that I mentioned earlier seems to be gone now that Crush has adapted to playing into a much more long distance range, forcing Tim to go for the very long low options too, and Crush is going to once again protect himself and keep on punishing.
I am not surprised that Joe is playing more conservatively and using those long-range pokes after that first round, but that's going to do it. That's game one for JoeCrush. We were just talking about how adaptable he is, and it seemed like on the fly, just back of his hand, he was able to come up with the strategy to beat VicariousTim. There's a whole set ahead of us. There's up to 2 more games, but it's interesting to see just how fast he was able to put that together.
Oh, for sure. Crush responding so quickly. If anything, it was Tim that we saw consistently scrambling, but he spent so much time in the air, and then afterwards, not the best choices to recover. It's about time, everybody, that as we move on to the second match of the night, and reminder that Well, I would like to know, Anya, is this winner's side or loser's side?
This is winners.
I would assume winners.
Yes, winners. Yes.
Awesome. So it is going to be still a best of 3 set, as we are only going to have best of 5 in winners finals, losers finals, and grand finals. So Crush is 1 victory away from moving on into the into winners finals.
Yep, that sounds right to me. And JoeCrush, no stranger to the final rounds. Once you get him in there, I think he's going to be much more in his element. But to tell you the truth, I'm interested in seeing how VicariousTim adjusts. How is he going to be able to adjust to Joe's game plan now that Joe has adjusted to him?
Well, again, the aggro style from the initial rounds seems to be pretty much gone. However, when it comes to playing at that long range, I saw Tim not really being able to respond too much. Yes, he went for those long distance pokes himself, but it was such an easy punish for JoeCrush later on that I think it's going to be a more bait and switch kind of playstyle now. Granted, you could get some breaks here. We are going into the Forgotten Realm, so I don't know. It's all about the extensions here.
Yeah, and I wonder actually if he should go back to that early round playbook, that more aggressive style.
Yeah.
Try to get close, try to pressure Joe, try to keep him from using those long range pokes and keep him from getting comfortable. Because Dragunov is a very oppressive character, and it's very easy to make you feel like you have no options against him.
We will get right into it once again. Tim on the Dragunov. So this first interaction I think is key, and it's going to be just trades all around. However, when Tim decides to go low, you feel Crush with the impetus to go in, and the throw break. Great response from Tim already. I feel, man, he is feeling much better after getting those 2 breaks.
Yeah, he is definitely much more confident. He's not getting bullied around like he was last game, but maybe a little too cocky because he just ate a lot of damage, and that handspring knockout was a thing of beauty, let me tell you.
The double handspring, actually, as Crush went for his own. Tim did not expect that one. Granted, the bullying seems to continue as Crush is going to get him into the air. How far will this extend? All the way to the wall. Almost cornered. Tim has nowhere to run now. It's do or die, man. Again, the round count is still in the air, of course, but a reminder that it's a best of 3 set, so Crush is looking to get this next round, and it seems like a good opening. He does leave him in rage presents, though.
Yeah, that rage was very well timed as he's able to get back in there, but is he going to be able to keep it up? JoeCrush is living up to his name right now. Who is going to get this last blow? Slow-mo!
No!
And it is JoeCrush on match point. That was so close. That was such a finely run round.
Priorities from Crush, going for the much faster option, and some very quick pokes all around too when he sees Tim commit. Also the fact that Tim has yet to get any extensions out of the low hits that he has been getting, and you can still see him go forward. Not as aggro, of course, but the pokes are coming through for him, and here we go, down on the ground. How will he extend? Takes him to the corner. That's another throw, and great work from Tim as the aggro is finally paying off.
Yeah, I think Joe might have gotten a little complacent there. He might have taken a breath, and Tim was waiting for that moment where his guard wasn't up as high, because he knows he has to do something dirty to get back in this fight. He really needs to make Dragunov's strengths count, work for him, and that low might do it. He's getting there. That held a scary low. Can he get back up, or is this going to be it? Who is coming out of this on top? It is JoeCrush going on ahead, but a valiant effort from VicariousTim.
And barely any HP left on that Jack. Granted, the faster options once against Triumph. I feel like had Tim gone for another handspring, that might have been a bit of a shock for Joe and might have been the round, but the choice was there, and Tim kind of committed to the much lower options in an attempt to get the long confirms, right? I mean, how many times did we see him go for low forward twos and such? So many spinning moves that just left him wide open to the punish. But at that point, you kind of had to commit. It was your winner's side life on the line, so I respect the attempt, but JoeCrush was just on, well, finger ready to push the button and get the punishes.
You figure when you're as experienced as JoeCrush is, you've seen so many iterations of that matchup, you've seen so many playstyles, so many characters, all this stuff is in a database in your brain, and it kind of comes second nature after a while. You aren't even thinking when you're on the gamepad, you are just, you see an action, you press a button, you see an action, you press a button. You know, you don't even see the code anymore, it's blonde, brunette, redhead. And that's the kind of experience that you're facing when you're up against him.
Pretty much so, and like you said, getting a great result at EVO, this is the kind of thing you expect from a player of his caliber. Studying the game big time, you know, as intimidating as it could be for many players, well, you do need to put those hours in sometimes, and it will eventually become muscle memory, but it appears that we are ready for the next set, as BoosterBlast and Viper are coming through. Viper, I believe, the only, well, Anya told us earlier on, the only girl here in competition,
yes,
right?
That's right.
Yes. That's right. And also, I looked them up on FG Combo. Booster has won all of his sets against PitVyper so far with the Armor King Chloe matchup. But here's something interesting. PitVyper has wins against JoeCrush. She is a JoeCrush caliber player. So I think if she can make something happen here, we're looking at a very interesting bracket.
It is Lucky Chloe, though, against Armor King. Armor King, though, and what can I tell you about this matchup? If we just saw a long-range versus aggro matchup earlier on, I think Armor King is going to be even more in your face. If anything, Viper will have to play a bit more patient, as the punishes that Armor King can get on her are pretty big.
That, or she's going to have to bait Armor King into making some mistakes. She's going to have to play Chloe's aggro troll roll to the hilt and really get him overextending, because people hate Lucky Chloe.
Tell me about it. Okay, no, don't tell me about it. Lucky Chloe is definitely a menace, especially online IMO, because that's where you get most of your matchup experience. And speaking of which, already getting the cards on the ground, but will not lead to much, as Booster has actually kept it quite conservative, like I told you, trying to play on her face, but going for the regular 1-2s and not much else afterwards. He really needs to hit confirm, as he does not want to give up any ground for Lucky Chloe to come in and start her punishes. And you can see those rolls from Lucky Chloe too, but there we go, that's finally the first extension! Take it down!
What a throw, what another throw. PitVyper not really having an answer to those, and there is the KO for round one. And we can expect this. BoosterBlast has played Lucky Chloe and PitVyper before. Played a couple sets, won every one of those sets. He's very familiar with her playstyle. He knows what to expect from PitVyper. She's gonna have to pull out something weird to really get in his head and get past that preconceived familiarity.
And I think that Viper is trying to go for some rolling mix-ups. You saw her go for those a few times already. The second one being punished big time, and the throws coming in once more. High kicks though. No punish from BoosterBlast, but he is guarding accordingly. Granted, this sweep is going to give Viper a big punish here. Oh, and the throw break.
Breaking the throw. That was a well-timed throw break. That is going to save Booster, but is it going to put him back on top of the round? That might happen. They are both very low health. Going for the Rage Art. Gonna get it. That is the round.
Great finisher from Booster. I mean, he's not just winning, he is sending a message. He ended the first round with a double throw. Now he ends it with Rage, and Viper really can't seem to get a break from here, as even when poking, she's gonna get punished big time. One more throw, and great read from BoosterBlast, adapting accordingly. Granted, the breaks are coming through from Viper, not the easiest thing in the world to time those, but hey, as long as she can keep him at range, that's great for her. Granted, she's just getting punished every time she goes on the ground for those kicks.
I have to wonder if Booster is in her head, because she has never beaten Booster in the sets that exist on FG Combo. She has not gotten wins off him. So he might be in her head, psyching her out, but she's going for the Rage Art now and pulling it off. That is a hearty amount of damage. That is a big old knuckle sandwich to take the round.
So round 4, Viper is on the scoreboard here. That could be the beginning of something great. Some trades, though, as they both end up falling face down on the ground. But hey, this kind of trade, I think, is more so a victory for Viper, considering the history so far. And those low pokes with the kicks are going to open something up. It appears that we're just going to reset back into the range that Booster wants her at. And there we go, onto the ground. How long will Viper take this? She does leave Booster in Rage Presents, though. And once again, it's going to be a big punish. It's not going to be the round, though.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not going to do it. She's still going to be in here. It's going to be a question of how she can recover from this and if she's ready for his increased offense, because this is when he warms up, and that is going to be the game. That is GG 1-0, and closing things out with a Shining Wizard. How classy.
Absolutely, man. I love the range at which Booster managed to keep her. Again, with the consistent pokes at the very beginning of the round, you could tell that Booster was waiting for Viper to shoot her first shot. His entire game plan was drawn around the breakdance kicks on the ground and then the rolls. How many rolls did he punish? Eventually, Viper was not rolling as much. She learned from that mistake and earned herself around, but then the punish game was just too much.
Yeah, he kind of conditioned her out of rolling at all, which, you know, you have to imagine that comes from their pre-existing familiarity. He has seen her roll on him so many times. He has seen Lucky Chloe, how easily she can snowball, and that's why he was playing so conservatively, why he was kind of poking at her and waiting for his time to move. He wasn't just going at her with full abandon. That's the way that you get chewed up by Lucky Chloe and spat back out.
So it is time, everybody. Game number 2. Reminder that these are still best of 3 sets. And it's going to be Infinite Azure. Not that Armor King really, or at least not that Booster on that first round got a lot from Welcomus and such, I don't think, but Infinite Azure is still going to give Viper a bit more room to play with. Once again, keeping Booster at bay at the range that she wants him to be. Seems, however, that she is going right in with the offense. She is the one committed to winning. She needs those 3 rounds to stay alive on winner's side. And going for the more risky options. Once again, poking low, though. As Tekken...
Maybe getting too risky with those punishes because she's just getting lit up every time she comes in. He's sidestepping, he's stepping back. It seems like every move she makes, he's got a punish ready. Not so much right now, but that was not an auspicious start to the game.
Dancing on him, though, as she gets the first throw, and once again pushing back. Rage percent, though, and she herself is out of the rage. No resources on her, so Booster is going to just face it out. However, when going in, ends up falling victim to the kick, and Viper gets the first round of the game.
Yeah, that was a very, very sus way to play, but you could see that she had the read on him and that she had created a situation where he would have to come in and risk the damage from her pokes.
I love how often she's going for the launchers too, winning big time, and the rolls have not been punished quite as heavily. However, Booster just needs one opening to earn as much damage as Viper got with 2 or 3 neutral wins. And here we go, that's probably going to be the round as the throw is going to end things even once more.
Yeah, you really have to play perfectly almost against a good King or Armor King. They are big, beefy boys with big, beefy damage, and you are going to get thrown right out that airlock if you let them get their hands on you once.
Speaking of which, you can see the pokes once more. Great KBD movement from Booster all around. However, he does leave his low side unguarded as Viper got to confirm over there. But once more, no matter how many times you win neutral, all Armor King needs is 1 to bring your life bar down to half, and we're pretty much even again.
Yeah, but PitVyper really hanging in there, giving as good as she's getting, surprisingly so. You wouldn't think that she's the underdog here, that she's playing the smaller character with the way she's hitting. That is big boy damage she's dishing out.
Oh, absolutely. It's all a matter of getting those first pokes, and here we go again, the quebradita, and getting down on the ground. Dancing on him once again. PitVyper, with these options that she's bringing up, I really do feel the confidence building up as the breakdance is not being punished quite as much. Dude, a double, triple roll and a cartwheel afterwards. PitVyper moving over here in front of Booster.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this. I was talking about how Booster's used to these kinds of tricks, but he almost seems to be freezing up. He almost seems unsure how to deal with this, as PitVyper's starting to run right at the round. And not just around the game. This is 1-1 now, and what was I saying? It seems like Booster forgot what to do or something.
Pretty much so. Not used to dealing with that kind of movement. Granted, if he were to try and chase down Viper, it is going to require a commit from Armor King, and whiffing something when Lucky Chloe is moving like that, it's going to represent some big damage. We already saw how Viper's execution is on point today, so you don't want to give up a single neutral victory, considering the percent you're, well, not percent, the HP you're gonna lose.
Yeah, I am not surprised, and I actually wonder if the choice of stage had something to do with it, because you could no longer corner Chloe, and if you can't corner her, you're chasing her forever, and she's just pulling back, and then she can cut around you and hurt you.
One more piece of data, by the way. We do have a very unique matchup here, as PitVyper is the only woman in competition, but also BoosterBlast is the only Canadian in competition. So the international talent showing up today to this bracket. Shoutouts to Anya, by the way, for hosting once more. I mean, this is a trifecta of nations coming together: Mexico, the US, and now Canada. to bring a great tournament. Super enjoyable so far.
The great North American friendship. And speaking of friendship, you can be really friendly by contributing to the Matcherino.
Yeah. There are a lot of Matcherino coupons tonight, so make sure to go and do your tasks on Matcherino. Claim your codes, everybody, so you can contribute to this prize pool, and so that more people can play some good-ass Tekken.
Yeah, don't be an imposter. Imposters never contribute to the Matcherino.
Don't be sus. Contribute to the Matcherinos. Alright, let's get into game number three though, and once again, PitVyper now dancing, not so much movement, not so much freedom of movement like on Infinite Sword, but that does not mean you're not going to need a lot of punish, and now that you have wall play once more, look at how far Viper took it. She does leave Booster in rage %, so that's going to be big time punishes from Booster. However, so many breaks from Viper.
He is just having such a hard time getting his hands on her, and that shoulder barge did the job, but it almost didn't. It almost didn't work out for him. And I like how they're starting these rounds with these kind of jabbing battles in neutral, but I wonder if Booster might want to play a little more aggressively, because he's kind of giving Chloe too much room. PitVyper's having too much room to play with, and really just getting too comfortable.
Getting multiple launchers too to bring this to a wall exchange. That's going to be a perfect round. After all that, after making the score even on rounds and getting the perfect, she's still dancing on him. The MVP of the match is going to be the breakdancing move. However, Viper did whiff that second one, and Booster is going to capitalize onto it. Look at how much damage that is, and you're still on the wall though, so Booster is going to be hurt big time. Nobody can escape from that.
I like Booster's patience in those situations. He's not getting freaked out by how much movement is coming out of Chloe. He's able to step back, wait until he's got a read, and sometimes he pays for it. Sometimes he takes a lot more punishment than he needs to, but then you have moments like that where he was able to just flatten her. Oh, good throw break there. Well-timed throw break. Let's see what PitVyper's going to work out. Got to get in that roll. Got to start rolling in, entering on him, and not letting him get comfortable enough to do some grabs. That could be the round. That could be it. It is. And that puts PitVyper on match point. That could be the end of Booster's winning streak if he's not careful.
The curse might just be broken, and twice already getting the trip onto him. And here we go again with the crushing big time. That's the wall combo. No! Dude, the handspring is not going to come through for Viper, but the punish is still there. The pressure is building up as Booster cannot leave the wall. That's the set.
That's the set. That's the streak. No longer has Booster won every match. No longer is Booster her bracket demon. It's now 2 wins to 1 in their total sets played. GG PitVyper.
And it was a 2-1 set, so it was definitely complicated, but PitVyper playing so amazingly. Also really, how do I want to put this? She really measured her risk overall. The launchers that she went for, she always went after the pressure built up, after she understood that Booster was not gonna be able to just poke her like that, or he was kind of scared to poke her at some times. You could see him not going for the faster options anymore after, what, the second round? He got the first one, but then the second one was such a big shakeup because it was a perfect that he just ended up getting caught in his own mind, I guess, not looking at the bigger picture, missing out on some of the big options he had.
Yeah, absolutely. That seemed to really get in his head, because a perfect isn't just a way to win. A perfect sends a message. A perfect tells your opponent they're screwed against you, and it's hard to get that out of your head. It's hard to shake it off and get back into the match.
It is, however, time to move on to the losers bracket side of things, as Alex Emo from Mexico is going to come through playing Julia tonight. He is going to fight against LRVD Renegod, who has been playing Horang, I believe.
Yes, he's a Horang main, and that's going to be an interesting matchup. What do you think of Julia versus Horang?
I mean, Julia's Julia, man. And here's the thing, Alex Emo has a lot of experience because he plays against a Mexican Horang player called Moy. ¿Es Moy Kusanagi, Anya?
Sí, yeah, that's right.
Ándale. Yeah, there we go. Moy 3443, as they call him. So, I mean, the matchup experience is there. So, just on that alone, I would give it to Alex, but I am sure that Renegod plays against countless Julias in his day, so he definitely is going to bring something new to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if he's got a good grasp of Hwoarang's stance system, because that can really just keep you guessing, keep you mixed up, and you really walk into a blender of kicks. That is Taekwondo at its finest right there.
Let's see if the experience will come through in this matchup, as once again it's going to be the USA against Mexico, and Alex Emo on the Julia. We're gonna start out on a Devil's Pit. So it's time, everybody. This is loser's side of the bracket. So whoever loses these two matches, or this set in general, is going to kiss their tournament life goodbye. But the Tekken Among Us is coming to a close. What's going to be the starter? Just hitting low, and Alex Emo is going to be the first one to find the launchers as he's going to take Renegod to the wall.
What a way to take first blood and to take the early initiative. Already, Renegod on the back foot, adjusting to this offensive pressure, trying to figure out how to gain his footing, and really just having to answer to Julia. And you never want to be the person answering to the other player. You never want to be reactive in this game. You want to be proactive, even on defense, because you want to be making those reads. You want to be cutting off the opponent's options. You never want to just be scrambling and responding. You want to have a good chance of controlling the situation, controlling the tempo, and keeping your opponent from gaining too much momentum. But right now, the momentum is all Alex.
Absolutely, Alex does not stop on the barrage of kicks coming through. But speaking of, that's Renegod's own kicks that are going to take Alex all the way to the wall, most likely. And there we go, rage percent as well. Gonna go for the quick investment in the rage, and that's going to be the round once more. Like you said, man, the momentum can be a little too much to deal with. And here, Alex had no shot at really bringing any response. He was on the ground for a little while, but Renegod responds accordingly. And here we go, the little back kick from Alex to once again open him up. However, not much of a punish afterwards.
Wow. I know it only lasted a little bit, but those dodges of those first kicks where she sidestepped one and ducked the other, that was really slick. That looks like something out of a Kung Fu movie. And speaking of Kung Fu movies, Renegod looking like the mentor that dies at the start of the movie, because Alex really opening up the can opener on him, doing a lot of damage to close out that round.
It's once again up to the starters, though, and it's going to be only a couple of punishes. Alex mixing up properly, however, is gonna be caught on end leg, and Renegod is going to punish accordingly. Alex, though, going to open him up once again low. The mix-ups that from Alex have been so great so far. Renegod can really not guess what he is going to do next. He can only hope to punish accordingly.
Yeah, but look what I was talking about with that blender of kicks. You know, when you're up against a good Hwoarang, those kicks are coming from everywhere. They're coming from all angles, all sides, up, down, middle, just never letting up. And it feels like you are just standing in the middle of a tornado. But right now, Renegod coming down to the end of his life, getting a solid beat down right now. And that is gonna be it with the Tetsuzanko. The power of Bachi Chuen unleashed. And GG Alex.
And he really did not take his foot off of the gas. You saw him constantly pushing forward, even launching himself towards Renegod. Did not get a punish then, but it's the mix-up that is all about once more. And so Alex gets the first win here on his first match in the loser's side of things. Renegod will now have his choice on the counter pick, though. It's once again the barrage of hits, right? I mean, it is kicks against kicks for the most part. Alex Emo has not poked using his upper limb so much, but when he does, that's all he needs.
It's kind of like a kickboxing match. It brings me back to like the days of Prime K1 or something.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Yeah. Something I'm interested in, something I'm curious about, is Alex likes to open with the lows, with the low sweeps and stuff, to open up the defense and create opportunities for offense. And I wonder if Renegod is going to start looking for those, because he keeps getting caught by those beginning sweeps.
Yep. It is the very first spark that ignites this bombshell of a matchup that we're seeing, because just a very dynamic matchup. I enjoy watching this one. You know, Julia, once again, super common to find when you are going online, but that also means that you can bring something new to the table whenever you play her at a tournament, not just trying to upgrade your ranking. And here we go, everybody. It's time for game number 2. Moi on the lead so far, but I'm sure that Renegod maybe, I mean, it was a very dynamic matchup, sure, but maybe he might try and bring this down to a crawl afterwards because Alex was definitely not going to stop pushing buttons, and that's just what Renegod is doing now, avoiding kicks and punishing right.
Yeah, something I like is that this is a very open, dynamic matchup. None of these rounds have been one-sided. Even the ones that end up being a decisive win one way or the other, they're both getting in a lot of offense, they're both doing a lot of damage, and you can tell they're both pretty used to fighting each other. This is a really good matchup, even as Alex takes the first round.
For sure, Alex has not taken his foot off the gas yet, but Renegod is the one to draw first blood here, and once again avoiding each other when attacking, but this time Alex was in just a slightly better position as Renegod was still in the air jumping, and as he landed, he still gets a lot more punishes. A few more launches from Alex. It's only going to push Renegod back, but this should probably be the round if he can get this one extra extension. That's going to be it.
That's putting him on match point. And I like something that Alex is doing. Maybe I'm seeing something that's not there, but I don't think so. When he gets Renegod down, he backs off. He gives it a second and gets his own offense ready because he knows those recovery options from Hwoarang. That Hwoarang can come up and open up that can opener and put him in a world of hurt. He is not creating that opportunity for Renegod.
Renegod keeps trying to approach high, but Alex has only been poking mid and low, and this will be the set, everybody. A swift 3-0 in rounds on the second match. Go ahead and subscribe to Julia's channels and become tier 3 subs. There must be some tier 3 sub on the Tekken universe, I swear.
And if you want to be a tier 3 sub to Julia, go check out those Matcherino codes. Help us help out the wonderful players who make these tournaments possible.
For sure. Thanks everybody for being here in the audience as well. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. It's been a very fun bracket so far. But we are still getting... Yeah, we're still getting a move on though. Alex Emo is going to face off against Booster later on. But we are going to move right ahead to the next matchup. It's going to be El Ocni against the MaxNinja.
And that's going to be a fun one, whether MaxNinja brings out his Asuka or his Kunimitsu. El Ocni is a very, very good Elisa. And, you know, he can play aggressive, he can play with the long-range pokes. Very versatile, and I've seen him get a lot of good results when I've commentated him before.
And if this graphic that Anya tweeted is not lying, he also plays Dragunov, but it appears that it's going to be the Asuka. So, Asuka against Alisa Boskonovich.
And of course, it could change. You know, that only shows you who their primary character is. Doesn't mean what they're going to play. But a lot of interesting opportunities there. And, you know, especially if there's Elisa versus Asuka, because both of them are quite defensive. Both of them exploit the opponent's openings, force the opponent to make mistakes. And it'll really become defense versus defense, which I'm really interested in seeing, because that sounds like a very technical bout.
Oh, for sure. Asuka, well, Anya won't let me lie, but Asuka... works for her openings, but when she gets them, you just know that it's not going to stop. And Elisa can definitely challenge many of her attempts. Oh, wait a minute. El Ocni has...
Yeah, we lost him. Let me buy him back.
Okay. By the way, well, I'm gonna speak in Spanish for a little while. I need to ask Anya something. Anya, me dijiste que querías algo de Banter en español también. ¿Cómo le hacemos por eso?
Yo nada más así comento en español un round y un round, cada quien uno en un idioma, yo así siempre le hago, pero como tú veas.
Ah, ok. Digo, también es que hemos estado hablando en inglés todo el tiempo, pero...
Si quieres hablar en inglés está bien, yo. Con que estén contentos. No, ahorita no veo mucha gente hablando español en el chat, so however you want.
Bueno, si hay alguien en español que quiera oír que esté en español, nos dice en el chat y le damos, ¿ok? For now, let's continue in English.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. I'll keep an eye on that as well.
Lo siento, mi español es basura.
Don't worry, man. I mean, that's the reason why we've got the bilingual skills over here, to adapt to whatever situation. And plus, there's a lot of American audience, or English-speaking audience on chat, so let's give them what they want.
And, preguntan quién comenta para que te presentes.
Ah, hola, soy tu Laguna. Hello. Yo no he narrado muchísimo Tekken, pero he narrado algo de Tekken y también juego algo de Tekken, entonces pues está chido que Anya me haya vuelto a invitar, ¿verdad? Luego le seguimos dando el próximo año también, porque sí, este año dejé un poquito abandonado al Tekken, pero durante cuarentena ya estuve grindándole. Primordialmente narro Smash, por cierto, por si alguien quiere saber. Ahorita estoy narrando mucho Pokémon Unite, Smash y CSGO, pero Tekken siempre está ahí también, pues. Alright, that's it. we can continue.
I'm
yeah,
going to assume that
we're
was
waiting
all
on
very
Ocni
important.
to come back.
Yeah, Omni seems to be having various tech problems, probably
Yeah.
like internet and stuff. I imagine it's not easy doing all these international connections and stuff to do these tournaments.
Mm-hmm. And you have not seen the tournaments where more regions come through, because I have seen some tournaments between Mexico and South America and such, and you usually get to see a lot of disconnects, some 2-bar connections as well, so this is not as problematic as it has been before, but it's still going to give us some hiccups here and there. There we go, there he is.
Yeah, there he is. We're good. We're good to go.
We've got him back, everybody. In theory, at least. Let's give them a second, make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, hopefully things will be fine and we will finally get to see the matchup. A lot of theory on the table, though, as we get into it. Again, most likely Elise against Asuka, but could be anything still. We know of a Dragunov there in the background, but we're about to see it. It's going to be... Alright. The regular.
That looks like Asuka versus
That's
Elisa.
Kasumi. I have a mod, and she looks like June.
Oh, that's Kasumi.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought it was some random Asuka kind of alternate art, but it's
Yeah, that's
Kasumi.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's Kasumi.
Round 1. Fight.
This is going to be an interesting one. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say I've never actually seen a Kasumi in action before, and I'm going to be interested in seeing what she can do for the first time. We're seeing a good flash punch combo there, and again with it, doing a lot of damage for El Ocni, and really putting him against the corner right at the start of the game to make a statement.
Now, what I really want to see is MaxNinja's use of the Power Crush, as from what I recall, Arslan Ash, when he was playing Kasumi, was a pretty big fan of using that option for Kasumi. Already MaxNinja getting the first round here, by the way, but great surprise kick from El Ocni. He's gonna move on, loses the head, but is right back in it, as once again the posts are coming through high. Quite the opposite from what we saw earlier. Whenever you do see that sliding kick from Elisa, it seems to not lead to much, as MaxNinja is ready to punish, to block accordingly. The animation is probably giving him a bit more intel, but still the pressure from El Ocni is going to be a little too much to defend.
Yeah, a little too much, and I think MaxNinja is being a little too eager to hit buttons. When he's in there, in El Ocni's face, it works out, but you see him pressing buttons when he doesn't need to, and he's just whipping and punching midair. Makes you wonder what he's timing it for.
Probably... Oh, wait a minute. I mean, perhaps you can see him going low many times now, fearing the sliding kick, but El Ocni is going to get into it. Mids and highs once more, consistently punishing from the air too, and MaxNinja does not seem to have a response to it, as he is now found all the way on the wall, nowhere to run as the chainsaws are coming through, and El Ocni is now on match point.
No, this is the first game.
Yeah, on match point. Like, in terms of the rounds, if he wins one more round, he wins the match, the first game.
The game, yeah, game point. But
yeah, that.
Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, the pressure is just oppressive from El Ocni. MaxNinja didn't seem to have any idea how to respond to that. And, you know, it's like when you're teaching somebody how to play at the arcade and you just do the same move over and over and you're like, I'm going to keep using this move until you figure out how to beat it.
It appears that MaxNinja has finally learned, though, as El Ocni has no resource anymore. He is still building up to this comeback down. Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank you, Anya. But still, though, MaxNinja is going to be the one to clutch it out, not letting El Ocni build up to a comeback, and now they are both on the verge of getting that first point onto their side. El Ocni is not going to deal any damage to MaxNinja as he approaches from very far away. Max is going to get a bit more push, but the sliding kicks, man, the sliding kick's not working anymore. Max has caught that cue every time. It's a guaranteed punish at this point.
MaxNinja seems much more comfortable suddenly. He's gotten the growing pains out of the way. He's gotten accustomed to El Ocni's playstyle, and he's able to just keep dishing out hurt. As we can see, he's about to close this out, and he keeps crossing the distance. El Ocni cannot get him away, and that is the end of the first game.
It's adaptation on the go as MaxNinja started to see them coming from a mile away, the sliding kicks. So El Ocni was not able to use his, I would almost call it his favorite approach option, as that is the one option he had to close the distance out as quickly as possible and then begin a combo, but it worked like 2 to 3 times in the earlier round, and MaxNinja did not let him get any more damage out of it later on.
Yeah, just leaning on that a little too much, I think. That created a very dominant round earlier in the game, but it was too much. It was too much. It gave MaxNinja a chance to adjust to it. And this is a game about adjusting to what your opponent does, and about adjusting to what comes in front of you, managing that mental stack. And if you figure out your opponent before they figure you out, you're going to give them a bad time.
Let's see how that translates into game number 2, as it's still the Kazumi on the side of MaxNinja. And El Ocni is going to take us to the violence systems. Now, once again, the wall pressure on the last match, I think could have been a little bit more. I actually saw MaxNinja playing a lot more comfortably when they were in the middle of the stage and set up by the walls, but hey, he's still going to try and bait and switch. El Ocni trying to go forward once more, though. So many breaks that we have seen so far, man. So many throws that just go nowhere because of those breaks.
Yeah, just very good, strong throw break game, and still leaning on those dive kicks, those sliding kicks. It's doing a lot of good this first round, dealing out a lot of damage, but El Ocni going to the school, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Look at those chainsaws. That looked like it really hurt, and MaxNinja very, very much backed into a corner to start this second game. I was going to say that it really shows you what a player's made of, seeing how they adjusted dropping a game, and El Ocni really seems to have turned it up a notch.
For sure, and committing to the same options that he had before. The difference is the mix-ups. He is now mixing a lot more between highs and lows, whereas beforehand he was approaching with a lot of highs. Now he's getting punished for it, and here we go, MaxNinja getting the multi-punches to push Ocni all the way back to the wall, and here come the trades too. Pretty much even on HP, but the Tiger comes through and much more distance between them. The throw is going to be successful though, as El Ocni keeps pushing forward and leaves him at range, but no chance to use that.
Good throw break, good throw break. That might have been the chance he needs. The Rage Art coming, blocked. KO. Woohoo!
Not at that range, man. He was, El Ocni was not on N-lag. MaxNinja really tried to go for a raid of some sorts, and it did not pay off as El Ocni punishes later on. And here we go again. Same trades once more, but El Ocni ever so slightly advantaged in the HP front. And here comes MaxNinja once again, now landing right in front of him. El Ocni, not a good use of those handsprings.
I like how aggressive MaxNinja is. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. Sometimes he bites off more than he can chew. But he is not afraid to get right in El Ocni's face and start throwing hands. And that is really what you need against Elisa or any character that relies so much on defense. You can't let them warm up the engine. You can't let them just sit back and poke at you. You really have to be willing to just get in there and get dirty.
Speaking of which, they're still playing at a range where either one can win big time. Neither one wants to split apart. If you realize El Ocni has not gone for that many sliding kicks anymore because of the range that they're playing at, so that's a big victory from MaxNinja as he keeps building up pressure. That's going to be another victory. And Kazumi so good at playing at that particular range, pushes El Ocni front once more, but no chance for El Ocni to go for his sliding kicks of his.
Oh, good throw break, and that flash punch combo always seems to be there for MaxNinja. Just flash punch, flash punch, flash punch. You'd think El Ocni would start having a read on it at some point. Gotta start reacting to that and creating fewer opportunities for it.
Speaking of the fear, perhaps MaxNinja has attempted a couple of low parries as he has gotten hit low many times now. No breaks so far. Keeps blocking though. Now the highs and mids, and El Ocni seems to finally be approaching with the slide kick after so long. He got the key one right at the end of that round to bring this to a third match.
Yeah, we are going to a final game thanks to that oppressive pressure. That didn't sound great, but you know what I meant. That just sheer oppressive offense and the good reads, the good slide kicks, and I like how this game is just so back and forth. They are really giving each other all they've got.
Absolutely, neither one wants to say goodbye to the tournament. A reminder that whoever loses this next game is going to kiss it goodbye, as that's the loser's round. Sorry, this is loser's bracket of all things. And Ocni and MaxNinja are fighting for a chance to play the loser's quarters. And in their set, in loser's quarters, they are going. Well, whoever wins is going to face off against Tim, VicariousTim, the Dragunov player we saw in winner's bracket earlier on. So let's get right into it. It appears that the characters are going to switch now as MaxNinja goes Asuka.
That might be a good strategy because even though his offense was paying off, he wasn't quite able to seal the deal. And a more defensive character like Asuka who can punish Elisa's overextensions better might be what the doctor ordered.
And Vermilion Gates is the stage, so the world pressure will continue. Here we go. What range are you gonna play in MaxNinja? He tries to keep it clean and simple. Not much of a distance between the two. Once again, blocking off Ocni's favorite options as we go right into the wall. Whips the grab though. MaxNinja still recovers accordingly and gets a perfect to start things off.
What a way to start off the last set. That is just incredible. You can see what I was talking about with him maybe wanting to switch to a more of a defensive style, because every time Ocni pressed a button, he was getting punished for it. He could not get anywhere that round, and the pressure was just unreal. He's adjusting a little better to start this one off, but that was definitely MaxNinja wanting to make a statement.
Get a couple more launchers to keep the pressure building up on Ocni. Ocni still had rage, but nowhere to run as MaxNinja kept building up the pressure now on the wall, and this range is becoming Ocni's worst nightmare. However, he does get a couple of pokes with the wands and then a launcher, but he is not going to continue as MaxNinja opens him up once again.
Yeah, very, very open and already staring down the barrel at the end of the set. That is set point MaxNinja is sitting on. Ocni has to figure something out, and if I'm him, I know that, and that pressure is building up in the back of my mind, and I'm thinking, I have to open up this defense and make something happen. I need to keep myself alive a round more, another round more, the whole game more, because I am eating a knuckle sandwich right here, and I don't want any seconds, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, dude, but MaxNinja whipped the punish on the ground, and that might just be his doom. That was the one opening he needed. No, they're still in the wall both, and the rage is gonna be blocked, but the low once again, dude. It's the low every time from Ocni. When he decides to mix it up, he wins big time, but unfortunately, it's finding that position in the first place. MaxNinja whiffed earlier on, but now he is getting the wall carry, and he is not gonna stop. Ocni is only going to move to the sidelines, and MaxNinja punishes accordingly once again, not letting him breathe. That's the throw. No, that's the throw break.
But he might not, that might not be enough. He's gotta make something happen. He does not make something happen. That's the set off a perfect. Whew. MaxNinja closing that out in style, and that was not at all an easy fight. He had to claw and scrape for that. Don't be fooled by the two perfects. He played exceptionally with, I believe, his main after a real back and forth first two games. That was just adaptation at its finest, and neither of those two have anything to be ashamed of.
For sure, this was a great set all around, and MaxNinja showing us that he has more than one character to boot in pristine form in the in both Kazumi and Asuka. I like the Asuka a little bit more. I like how it came clutch for him at the end of the set, but hey, things have already played out. That's going to get a move on as VicariousTim is going to face off against MaxNinja later on, and Alex Emo is going to come through and play up against the booster. This is once again loser's quarters, so still best of 3, but they are playing for their tournament lives again.
Yep. But of course, that's what you're used to. Anyone who's played competitively for any real amount of time, they've been on both sides of this. They've been in losers. They've been staring down the barrel of elimination. It's not easy. It's not something that you can always win. You know, you're going to lose. You're going to feel the taste of dirt in your mouth. And it's about how you get up and pick yourself back up and keep going.
So let's get right into it. It has been Armor King by Booster before.
Let's see. Should be Armor King versus Julia, but they might throw a curveball. Yeah. Nope, that's going to be the matchup, all right. Julia is Julia, and Armor King is Armor King. This is going to be fun.
For sure. Armor King, by the way. Well, the way we saw Booster play against Viper earlier on was very in your face, so I assume that Alex Emo's new strat will be to once again poke a loaf at a distance. That's what earned him a lot of victories early on, and so many kicks and many ducks as well. You mentioned how it was looking like a kung fu movie, the way that Alex Emo managed to avoid many of those hits. And here we go, starting out with a bang as we get a throw but a launcher immediately, so these two are playing with fire now.
Yeah, already opening up, showing each other what they've got. A very aggressive start to the set, and you can't fault them for that. You cannot fault their fighting spirit, but maybe Alex Emo wants to be a little more careful, a little more distant, because he is just taking so much damage that he doesn't need to, and Armor King is not somebody you can just stand there and throw hands with.
Round 2.
We get into round 2 already, as Booster has opened up Alex Emo not as many times. Reminder that you don't need to win neutral that much with Armor King to get the same amount of damage. However, Alex Emo is showing us that even Julia can definitely give a beating to this bulky Tiger Man, as he cannot leave the wall and a corner for that matter, as we are in a corner riddle station. That will be the round.
What a counter. That's the kind of thing Alex wants to play with more. He doesn't want to just stand there and brawl. He wants to punish Armor King for even trying to press buttons.
And so the buttons will not be punished here, as it's only poking. However, the hook from Booster is going to keep Alex Emo at a distance once again. Perhaps not a huge string of punishes, but it is going to earn him a bit more time, though the rhythm seems to be still controlled by the Armor King. Punishing sidesteps and did, and that's going to be it.
Round 4. Fight.
Yeah, Booster really has the momentum here, even though he's on the defense often. Armor King can just do so much damage once he opens you up, and there's so many little punishable moments in Anya's strings, and Julia's strings, that can be exploited. And you can see Booster is content to just sit there, trust his high HP, and wait. And once he sees his opening, that's that. He just opens you up, and he destroys you.
It appears that Alex... Oh no, dude! So many throw breaks today. Just great timing all around. And speaking of which, Alex is now gonna get low parried as well. Finally, somebody's starting to adapt to the pressure that Alex is putting up low, but Booster will still not ride that forward, as he is going to lose the round. But it is a bit of a signal. The fact that he just got this low parry might signal Alex that he needs to mix it up, and he is doing so accordingly, as he now mixes up highs and mids too. Keeps going for the shoulder bashes, but nothing else, as the throw breaks once more.
Alex's throw break game is so good, and I know I'm commentators cursing that, saying that right as he gets thrown, but Booster's had a hard time getting a throw off for much of this set so far, and you can tell he's just been labbing throw breaks in there, but maybe not labbing enough, because a big, beefy shoulder finishes off the first game for Booster.
And the thing, one big problem for Alex Emo is that someday Booster is simply going to choose to go for a power crush, and that will be the end of Alex in many interactions, as it's a barrage of punches and kicks that's simply going to be non-stop. However, the movement and the ducking from Alex, the micro spacing is going to be his true ally there, as it might represent a big whip from Booster, but still, that's a big habit that Alex has fallen into that costed him the game, and might cost him even more later on. However, the shoulder is doing it for Booster here.
Yeah, Booster really has the advantage here in pure damage and pure opportunities to hurt his opponent, pure punishment opportunities, and it's not an unwinnable matchup for Julia, not at all. We've seen Julia give him serious problems. Alex is definitely someone who has a place in this bracket, but he has to play a lot more carefully than he's doing, I think. He's trusting his damage, which is good. He's not just turtling, but against Armor King, I don't know if I want to be so carefree.
So it's time, we're going to go into Fakumram stage, Cave of Enlightenment. The breaks are gonna come
to maneuver there, isn't there?
Yeah. Plus you can get the floor breaks too, I believe. So
Here I come.
many more elements in to boot here, and I think, yep, it's going to be a big start with a barrage of punches from Alex once again, but no power crush coming from Booster.
Gotta be careful opening like that. 3 of the same punch 3 times in a row. I mean, no fault for consistency, but maybe getting a little too predictable there. But when you do this much damage, maybe you don't need to worry about being predictable.
Round 2.
Alex cannot escape that barrage from Booster either, as he finds his way into the corner consistently. And that's the case once more. Alex cannot escape Booster. You see how he's just go for your KBD, man. What else do you need to do? You already know that Alex is going to respond with a low 3 or something, so why commit? However, Alex is going to get the launcher here, and Booster is going to eat up a lot of life here. Neither of them enraged, though. Finally, Emo does get it, but it appears that he will not be able to use it as Booster keeps on pushing. This might be set point.
This is set point that Booster's on, and Alex really has to figure out how to keep himself alive here. He is eating a tremendous amount of punishment right now. He can't even get up. Alex is just being smothered. Booster all over him. A good throw break, but that might not be enough. That's the juggle. That's gonna put him in some hurt, but how is it going to keep going? Booster needs to recover from this. He might be able to. Rolled off to the side, but taking some more damage now. This is actually starting to become Alex's round. Potentially needs to be a little careful because he can't afford another hit, and he does not need to afford another hit. There goes Booster, and we are now 2 rounds to 1. Booster still on set point, but maybe a little breathing room that Alex sorely needed.
Alex needs to ride that momentum going forward, but he is still stuck. You can feel his stress, and he has spent most of this set in the wall, and most of this game in particular in the wall as well. This round seems to be coming to an end, as it's only going to mean a single poke from Booster to get the victory, and that will be it.
That whiffed shoulder is what really did it. You saw Alex go for that shoulder barge, whiff it. He was like a foot off, and that gave Booster every opportunity he needed to seal the deal, and that was it. You know, Armor King is not an opponent you can miss against. You need to be on the ball, because even the slightest punishment opportunity, a good Armor King will destroy you. A good Armor King player, a player who's loyal to that character, has mastered the fundamentals of this game, has really drilled the fundamentals, the punishes, the throw commands, the throw breaks, and really knows this game up and down because he had to get where he is. And we saw that in that match because Booster was never in real trouble, even in the rounds he was losing.
He did not get his foot off the gas whatsoever, and you can feel him still angry to get some more punches going. Plus the fact that he always had the impetus to get the throws, right? I mean, no matter how many throw breaks Alex might have brought to the table, he still went for them, knowing how much he could win. Granted, it is time for us to take a look at the other losers quarters set, as VicariousTim and MaxNinja are going to play things out. Will MaxNinja decide to go for Kazumi again, or will he go Asuka?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I wonder which one might be even better against Dragunov, because it seemed like MaxNinja largely prefers Asuka, but maybe the element of surprise would be there if he goes with Kazumi, because you don't see a Kazumi very often in these tournaments, I think, but everyone's seen a bunch of Asukas. Syncing up, we're about to find out. And while we're finding out, we've got 23 Metrino coupons left, so how about you guys prove you're not imposters by going in and claiming those codes? Help us help these wonderful players.
Yes, indeed. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for contributing to the Metrino, and thank you for rooting for your favorites too. I see you guys betting your points, or you have been betting your chat points on the previous set, so why not throw some here right as well? It's going to be Kazumi against the Dragunov, so let's get right into it. I don't think that Tim is going to be able to play as aggro as he once tried to. However, he does try to close the distance. This worked well for MaxNinja, if you recall, against Elisa earlier on. Dragunov is a different beast, though, as he will play aggro. That's the first big throw. And Tim is going to start out with some big punishes. However, still a bit too suffocated with these barrages of punches from MaxNinja.
seems almost like VicariousTim is trying to adjust and figure out the character on the fly. You can see a bit of hesitation there as he kind of wonders what Kazumi is going to do next. And MaxNinja eating a lot of punishment because Dragunov is just a big, strong boy. And that it might be the round. It is. A good, well-placed low kick ends the first round.
Time for round number 2 as the MaxNinja is once again approaching low. However, ducking underneath those kicks, it appeared that Tim might have gotten something big, but once again, the flash punches from MaxNinja are going to push him all the way to the wall, and the aggro attempts are going to be cut short as the throw break is coming through from MaxNinja and gets the wall carry. Almost gonna get it completely, but still putting up some pressure. Almost cornered, but Tim manages to escape, gets the roll through, and that will be big damage, but Max is in rage drive mode, and that's going to be the round.
What a time to pull out your rage drive, too, because much like, say, Critical Arts in Street Fighter, that is a really good tool for robbing your opponent of momentum, even if you don't get the kill, which MaxNinja did there, because your opponent can be building up steam and doing a lot of damage, punishing everything you've got, and that rage drive forces them straight into reactability. They eat a bunch of free damage, they're forced onto the back foot, you might have a round reset, they just are completely playing your game. But this time, maybe a little too risky, because VicariousTim took that round reset and was just running roughshod over Max.
Continuous throws as well, or continuous grabs if you want to call them, considering how Dragunov rolls around. And here we go again. It's the 3-2, but it will be punished. Yes, indeed. Once again, missing out on that big opening as Tim can't seem to land another one. MaxNinja throw breaks again, but he will still be sent into the air after the punch, and that's the final round of the match.
Yep, we are on the final round now. Both of them giving as good as they get, and this is a very, very evenly matched fight so far. Whoa, setting the tiger on Dragunov, but into that grab. You know, what's a good Dragunov without grabs, right? You are not fighting Dragunov if your limbs aren't being twisted every which way.
Maybe not twisted, but definitely splatted against the wall and the floor as Tim bets it all and wins big time. That's game number 1, going to the Dragunov player who is being able to play aggro, and he keeps on pushing no matter how many times MaxNinja might try and break out of it.
Yeah, I wonder if the Asuka might be a better pick here, because it seems like more, you know, she has some grabs of her own, more of an easier time breaking the throws, and he seems less familiar with his Kazumi than his Asuka. We'll see if he does make the change. You know, it's up in the air. MaxNinja is very, very versatile, but he might need to think about what he's doing next. And the good thing about this little break between games is he has the chance to think about that. He has the chance to kind of go over what just happened in his head, take a breath, recenter himself, and figure out what he's going to do going forwards.
You know, one more thing to consider is the way that MaxNinja had been playing with Kazumi. If you recall from last set against Lisa, that was the range that he was comfortable in, but with Dragunov being so in your face, not really having much of an incentive to push back, you not only had to play that range that you were somewhat comfortable with, but you also were risking the fact that you go for the wrong choice, you're going to eat a grab. And here we go. It's time to play at a different range. Asuka will most likely be able to push Dragunov a little bit back, a bit more. The launcher that she does, where it's a backflip, I think will earn him a lot of big openings after whiffing a grab, for instance. So Tim better calculate twice before he whiffs.
Yeah, and this might be what MaxNinja needed, because his Kazumi is very aggressive, very in your face, and when you are running full tilt at somebody and somebody's running full tilt at you, you're just getting in a crash, and the bigger guy usually wins a full-on crash.
Crash won by MaxNinja for the most part, as he does not leave Tim in rage range, by the way. So still playing more heavy-handed neutral. However, Tim is going to open him up low once more as we go into round 2. Perhaps not a grab-ridden game, as you can see. Tim is now more than willing to push back because he fears that very flip kick launcher, and MaxNinja wins big from it.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he's grabbing less often, but he definitely likes those low entries, the sweeps, the low grabs. That is VicariousTim's bread and butter this tournament so far. Not at all surprised to see him go into that well again and again, and it did open up this long, long juggle, which is really painful for MaxNinja. We'll see if Max can get around it, and he can, he does. That's his round on the board.
That will be around through the race drive that the Asuka just pulled off, so MaxNinja feeling good with himself now that he got a big punish after failing earlier on with Kazumi, but this still is going to mean a corner carry. However, the consistent launches from MaxNinja, look at that Mexa baby! Just wait a minute here. You cannot read my approach. Tim is going to get a lot more damage out of it, and he does not have rage at his disposal. This is very likely going to be the round.
That is the round indeed. What a counter to steal back the momentum. That's the good thing about these counter grabs and defensive playstyles like MaxNinja is showing up. It's not just about dealing damage, it's about stealing momentum and stealing the turn. Because not only do you put yourself at potential frame advantage, you throw off the mental patterns that your opponent is playing with. You throw off their game plan and their idea of how the match is going to play out. They are no longer on the top of their game. They are playing by your rules, and as you can see, when you play by MaxNinja's rules, you lose.
So much mix-up from MaxNinja as well. We can clearly see that Asuka is the character he feels most comfortable with. I never saw a down forward 2 being punished, so MaxNinja having a pretty open door to make front to Tim. So yeah, this Asuka just night and day, man. What a difference between this and Kazumi.
Yeah, I'm actually curious why he was whipping out the Kazumi at all. I mean, Asuka's his better character and seemed better suited to this matchup. I wonder what he was doing.
It is time for set point though, as either player can just escape with this win. I do think though that the range that they are playing at, MaxNinja on chat saying that he just wanted to play Kazumi, but when the going gets rough, it's back to the main.
Yep. I mean, you know, this isn't exactly for a huge prize pool or anything. This isn't Evo. If he wants to try out a new character, he can. And, you know, I'm not the god of Tekken. I'm not Harada. I'm not telling him who to play. It's just, I just found it curious.
Yeah, same here. It's just a performance, right? But it is a calculated choice. It is also important to play these lower stakes kinds of tournaments to practice your things, and it's definitely in good faith. We are going into the next match, though. Possibilities of breaking the stage here, as Dragunov can definitely earn big time from set breaks. But what will MaxNinja do to respond? He's got to get some throw breaks. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, call these throws quick kick at bars because they just keep getting broken. Ooh, good juggle from MaxNinja, dealing a lot of hurt. You can see him hesitating for a moment there, waiting to see what VicariousTim would do, how he was going to get up. He doesn't want to get grabbed. He's trying to keep an eye out for that. He's trying to whip punish. He's trying to punish the opportunity, but that was blocked. Good block, good break, taking some punishment, but keeping himself alive, going for the double axe handle, and that ends the round.
Keeping himself safe on block too, as yes, he might not have opened up MaxNinja, but he could still build up some pressure, and that last grab is all she wrote. So first round goes to VicariousTim, who has now adapted to things, but like I said, the stage breaking is always a possibility, and MaxNinja is the first one to get that, as he brings a lot more damage onto Tim, and this next push might be it, but no! VicariousTim is going to flip the script on its head as he gets the throw onto the wall, and keeps building up that pressure. They're both in range now, but the pressure keeps on building, and Tim is going to claim that round.
Tim really, really waking up this game, really waking up this round, and just showing MaxNinja he's not going to be that easy to eliminate, but that might have been a costly whiff. He was able to eat some punishment there. MaxNinja slipping out around the side, and they are currently feeling each other out. They backed off a bit there, trying to figure out their best way in, waiting for somebody to make the first move, and you know, sometimes when you make the first move, you eat a counter, and that was the first fatal mistake, and that could be the end.
Oh, but the next shoulder bash will be good as Tim is going to find a launcher into the wall, and MaxNinja has nowhere to run. However, he will eat up that rage as it's going to be blocked. However, this next throw is going to almost bring things to an end, and the low poke will be it. Tim, with a swift 3 rounds to 0 in this next game, is going to move on to losers semis.
What a dominant display in that last game. You know, this set was very back and forth, lots of openings from both of them, lots of good gameplay, but right there, that no round Brown, you know, MaxNinja did have a couple moments where he shone there. I wasn't just puffing hot air, but really just turned it on, turned it up, and showed why he is so good with Dragunov. Just pure punishment. It was really fun to see.
For sure. I love how he never took his foot off the gas, really. VicariousTim with a consistent display of offense, and just a very fun matchup overall. When Asuka came through, you could feel that they were now on even ground. But speaking of the even ground, the many floor breaks that we got ended up going a bit more in the favor of VicariousTim as the extensions came through, and never really let MaxNinja escape the wall later on in those 3 rounds. And MaxNinja did show menace that he might have taken round number 1, but once again, just flipping the script on its head.
Yeah, a definite script flip there. Definitely the tables are turned, and you just did not really get much of a chance to see much going on. But we are moving on to winners finals, and here's an interesting matchup: PitVyper versus JoeCrush. This is a match we have seen again and again through the past couple years or so, and JoeCrush has the lead. I think he's won like 70% of their matches, their sets. But PitVyper has beaten JoeCrush before. She is a JoeCrush crusher. She can pull this off, and I'm really interested in seeing what tools she's bringing to the table against her perennial adversary.
So PitVyper might just get to Grants on the winner's side. Would be a big win if so. But JoeCrush is the true final boss for her in this occasion. As that's a true fire trial. That's who we're waiting for too, by the way. So if Crush is over here in chat, please join.
Yep, giving him some time to join up. I'm sure PitVyper doesn't want to get a bye. She wants to face her bracket rival fair and square, and if she can win, she wants to win honestly. She wants to have that glory for herself. She doesn't want to get in by default. Hopefully, JoeCrush can make it.
Yeah, he should be making it soon.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Well, just stalling for a little bit. Let me speak some Spanish real quick. ¿Qué onda, banda? ¿Están disfrutando del buen Tekken esta noche? Gracias por estar aquí nuevamente. Thank you all to the English-speaking audience as well. Reminder that this is a bilingual stream. Anya is from Mexico after all, and so am I. So we welcome you here. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far.
Yep, just make sure there's no imposters in the crowd among you, you know. Don't take advantage of my inability to speak Spanish to go around being sus and sabotaging generators and going into vents. My friends here do speak Spanish, so they'll sniff you out and they will not be happy.
Nah, don't worry. I'm just saying hi to the crowd, thanking them for being here, of course. Pretty much the same thing that I said in English I said in Spanish, so it's all good. It's all good.
Chat said that there wasn't enough Among Us, so I kind of slipped some in.
Oh, okay. Alright, got it.
I mean, gotta give the people what they want, right?
For sure. Si está bueno el Tekken, let's go. Gracias, Gangster. Gangster Yakuza, thank you. And, yeah, shout out to everybody for being here. Reminder that there are still plenty of Match Arena codes to be redeemed, so you guys will definitely help us big time if you could go ahead, open those links, those Match Arena links, and claim said codes to contribute to the prize pool.
Yeah, definitely. Be a hero. Don't be a zero. Don't be Heihachi Mishima. You know who never donates to Match Arena? Heihachi Mishima, because he's a big old Scrooge.
Did Kazuya ever do his?
I doubt Kazuya ever does Matcharinos. I mean, look at him. He's literally the devil.
True. Well, you're basically telling me that the entire Mishima family tree never did that.
I mean, Jin Kazama, maybe. He's technically a Mishima.
True. Well, Devil Jin is, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, Devil Jin is the true Mishima. So, would Devil Jin do his match arena? Maybe, Jin, which, for sure. Would Devil Jin do it?
Devil Jin might do it just to spite Kazuya.
Alright. Makes sense.
I mean, look at the Tekken 8 trailer. It's them facing off, and Devil Jin is very much in the our bloodline needs to be extinguished camp. I think he would do the Matcherino just to spite Kazuya.
Great logic, yes. I agree. And the entire clan would probably do it too. I can definitely see Horang doing his Matcherino. Maybe Alisa would do it, but
real question is Lars. I mean, he's a Mishima, but he's an illegitimate Mishima, so bit of a wild card.
True.
All right, Joey's here.
Woohoo!
All right, after a bit of a sus waiting period, a bit of time in the vents probably, JoeCrush is here and ready to face his bracket rival PitVyper. This is going to be a fun show to see.
Ooh. Booster telling us that he sent some backup crewmates to make front to all of the sus activity going around, so that's safe if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, maybe the crewmates can tell us if this is a real JoeCrush, or if in that time it took him to come back to us, he was replaced by an imposter.
Chat will be the ones to tell us. Shout out to the Armor King among us, by the way. Wait a minute. It says Amogus. It's not Among Us. It's Amogus, like a Moongus from Pokemon too.
Amogus.
Alright, so Jack against Lucky Chloe. We already saw these two playing in very different matchups. But PitVyper, through movement alone, managed... Well, not just movement, but that was pretty much the starting point through which she got the ball rolling. Quite literally, rolling herself. And then the mix-ups came through. So perhaps she's going to force Crush to commit to some very heavy-handed options and then punish accordingly. Still, though, I don't think Crush is going to bite quite as often.
Probably not with his experience, not with his accolades. But something interesting here, PitVyper's already conquered one of her bracket demons. She had never beaten Booster before tonight, and she's having a good night. She took down Booster, and she has the chance to face down JoeCrush, who she has beaten before. You know, she's not won as many sets as he has, but it's not unheard of. Might be able to make something happen here. Something I'm interested in, too, is I believe of the people on this bracket, she has the most experience fighting JoeCrush. She knows his tricks best. But a very dominant first round as we start that off. JoeCrush doing a lot of damage to start off. PitVyper right back in there, rolling in, blocking that piston shot, getting him on the ground. You don't want to let the snowball form. You don't want to let her pick up this kind of momentum. JoeCrush trying to erase that momentum, trying to keep her on the wall, do some hard damage, and he does do that, bouncing her off the floor and taking the first round. A very, very tough start to the round. Very tough start to this one. Already halfway through the life bar, maybe a quarter full. PitVyper putting herself back in this, but taking a lot of damage to start with. Not having a lot of fun. Not having a very good night. An unlucky Chloe so far, but might be able to make something happen here. Starting to make something happen. Starting to get in it a bit, but that's the second round for JoeCrush. PitVyper better start making something happen here. All right, bit of a cautious trade of jabs. Both of them playing a little cautiously, a little conservatively. Both of them poking at each other. JoeCrush with that heavy offense, trying to keep PitVyper locked down, but not having a lot of luck. PitVyper keeps dancing back and kicking with those lows, but a good juggle from JoeCrush. Lots of juggling here into the wall. Gotta get away from this wall, or it's gonna be a very, very long night for PitVyper. Lots of early damage. Forcing him back with that aerial, but what's she gonna do? How can she keep him from recovering? Rolling in, low kick, high kick, into the Rage Art. Here we go. That's gonna be the round. The Rage Art seals it and keeps PitVyper alive against her bracket rival. That was one heck of a round to try to steal back some momentum. Joe is in this still alive, still kicking, but his momentum's been robbed. His turn was very much stolen, and he's on the back foot now. He has fallen onto the defensive. He is backed into the corner, trying to get somewhere, getting some good damage going, getting some good juggles, getting some good punishes, but trying to keep himself in this, trying not to let Chloe run away with the momentum she built up last round. PitVyper has to keep alive, but will not. JoeCrush able to restore the Joe momentum and win that first game. But what a first game it was. PitVyper reminding him he is very much mortal, and he is not going to have that easy a time. He cannot run over PitVyper like he could some casual at a local. PitVyper has fought him so many times already, has gone into this match again and again, knows his tricks, knows his characters, and if he's not careful, she could come out on top here. Let's see what...
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry, I'll let you finish that one game because you had such great momentum going too.
Yeah, I had some Joe momentum of my own as we were dealing with potential imposters.
The Joe momentum, great one right there. Speaking of which, can you guys get in some Joe momentum and please claim your match arena codes that just claimed mine? Plus, doing the tasks, reminder that match arena lets you do certain tasks to contribute a few more cents to the prize pool. If you subscribe to Match Arena, for instance, it's 20 cents to the prize pool. So that's just one quick test you may do. But here we go. Subscribe on YouTube, by the way. But here we go. It's infinite a short time. And earlier on in the bracket, we definitely saw PitVyper doing the most of what she could with her movement. She brought Armor King here, and it went great for her. She definitely switched around the range that she was playing at, but it appears that Crush is just crushing her big time on the high hits.
I could see what she was going for picking this stage. She wanted to create a situation where she can't be forced into a corner and held down, because that was becoming a problem. That was becoming something that Joe was running away with. But you saw that very dominant opening round might not have been a great play, because she can't corner him either. She can't slow him down. If he picks up the Joe momentum, that could be the game. That could be the set. And really, right now, what she needs is a way to disrupt him and keep him from getting comfortable.
And a way to get up, because this is insane. Original Crush does not allow PitVyper to get up until much later on, and PitVyper did get a launcher there, but it appears that the round will still be out of her reach as Crush is just too much. The speed of this Jack player is a little too much for them to face off against, and PitVyper still dancing on him, but it leads to nothing. Original Crush is actually, I must say, the punish game is great, but the defense from Crush, man, he is unbreakable.
Yeah, what great defense, and also, he is making Jack look lightning fast. He is on her like white on rice every time she presents an opening, and it's just strings and strings and strings, and it's coming out smooth as butter. You can see why JoeCrush plays so high in EVO.
It appears, though, that this is the most danger that he has been in. PitVyper might even be able to start running the clock, but she will still move forward. The breakdance is going to earn her a round here. Same as last game, really, where Original Crush gave one up, but then later on adapted accordingly. However, the consistent bounces here as PitVyper is going to bring Original Crush down to his last 2/3 of life, now half of it only. And Crush cannot get anything started. No launchers here for you either, man, as the breakdance is still coming through. The rolls are coming in from PitVyper, earning her, a big push forward.
Oh, I wonder if we're going to see it. I wonder if we're going to see the reverse sweep, because she went from 0 to 2 rounds to final round. And really, she needs this round. This round needs to go exactly her way, which that was not a good sign for, whiffing that cartwheel kick. Let's see if she can make something happen here. She had a lot of good, slick movement last round. She has to recapture that lightning, put it back in the bottle, revisit some of those moves, like the duck between Joe's legs. Might be able to do it, actually. JoeCrush's legs health is getting very low. This is not looking good for JoeCrush, and she does take the game. That was 1-1 now. 1 game to 1 game. PitVyper showing why she has won 30% of their games.
Just breakdance on him. Original Crush had nowhere to go, and the blocks did not come through when it mattered most. But granted, just great overall blocking game from Crush. I have seen some people put up that kind of walling, but it's still quite amazing to see him being so good. When blocking the highs and mids, you are still being showered by a barrage of kicks, and yet you do not break, not until the Lucky Chloe decides to go low again after a long time. So the mix-ups are still coming through from Viper as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing with a good Lucky Chloe. She can make you feel like you just can't press any buttons, like it's never your turn. Just this offensive juggernaut, a constant onslaught of kicks, of dodges, of breakdancing moves, rolling in, rolling under, rolling through, and by the time you figure out where the hell she even is, sometimes you've already lost. Oh, and bringing Gisu out to play. That is an interesting choice. I wonder if he's hoping to keep her at bay with the Repukins and the ranged games. Last time I commentated a tournament with JoeCrush in it, he did this to adjust to a Miguel, El Horror's Miguel. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the same ideas here with Lucky Chloe.
Repukins are going to be the true test of skill for Viper here, though. We know how big of a headache it can be to deal with that. A Geese with bar. Rage is going to be extra complicated. Granted, this might not be Akuma we see here, but the bar will build up. And here we go, already stepping back because Crush understands that Viper is the one who needs to take the lead so as to prevent the Repukins from coming through. But the first one, this shot, Original Crush is going to whip it, and Viper is gonna go right in, getting the wall carry. And here we go, the punish is still coming through. No more kicks though, as Crush might get a chance here. No! Power Crush from Viper.
Yeah, that was very, very dominant offense from Viper, but JoeCrush putting himself back in, and a good Repukin catching her on the way down. Maybe shouldn't have been so eager coming up on her as she was recovering, though. Maybe should have held back a little, but putting himself back in the round now. Right into Rage Art. Wow, that was, whew, that was a big, big punishing combo, and there we go. JoeCrush taking the first round. What I wonder, actually, looking at this, is if he was hoping for more defensive options, because Geese definitely much more defensive than Jack 7 is. Lots of parry opportunities, lots of counter grabs, but this pressure is unreal. This is an aggressive Geese, not a defensive one. No hiding here, no blocking here. He is just going at her.
He was in max mode earlier on, but did not capitalize much out of it. I think could have been much more damage. And here we see him again. Great blocking overall, as PitVyper can't seem to find a break-in, but here we go. Coming through from the backside, La Quebradita afterwards, and Original Crush will still eat much more punish. There we go, that's the final low kick. Two rounds have, sorry, go for it.
That's one of the scary things about Lucky Chloe, you know, even if you think you've kept her out, she can pull something out of her hat, and, you know, she's made her own opening, and by the time you realize it, half your health is gone. You have just been opened wide up. She can just go right through you.
Not going to allow that, as Crush is going to send Viper to the other side through that throw. But Viper will earn this next victory here. It's all gonna come down to a guess, and it seems that Original Crush did not guess correctly. Oh, the little peek!
Touch it!
Man!
Repukin, who's gonna get the interaction? It is Chloe! PitVyper up 2-1.
How did Viper just go for that little peek with the heel? That was the change that really earned her the round. Original Crush led a huge lead to go, and still cannot seem to build up much momentum, but here comes the max mode. It's time to cancel everything you got all the way to the wall. He is not even going to leave Lucky Chloe in that rage drive percent or anything, or yeah, here we go. It's time for the rage to come through, but no, it's going to be blocked. Original Crush gonna bring this to 5th round.
Final round. I believe they both got one game, so they just need this last round. And JoeCrush opening that last round in style, showing that he is not going to be easy to put down. Both of them poking at each other, both of them trading, trying to get what they can. But so far, JoeCrush coming out ahead. That was a really, really painful throw, and PitVyper's got to make something happen here. It's got to get herself in this, because her health is scary, scary low, and it might come down to this. This might be it. This might be the end. That throw seals the deal. GG, JoeCrush continues to be her bracket demon.
Hang on, it's a best of 5, so we still have
Best of 5.
Yeah, we still have one more game to go at the very least, but Crush is up 2-0. So, wait. Yeah, he is up 2-0, right?
No, it's 2-1. That's
no, 2-1, 2-1. Sorry, yeah, 2-1. You're right. It is 2-1 after he switched from Jack. I kind of forgot. Did he take a game with Jack or not? But yes, he lost on Infinite Restore. Now I remember. And so, yeah, because that's the one that I was in the bathroom for. Sorry.
Yeah, my thing was I got so used to the first of twos that I wasn't expecting the first of 3. Whoops.
Yeah, that's it, but we're back on track, everybody. It's time for game number 4. As it appears to me that Geese, you know, he is a response, but Crush is still depending a little too much on his defense and getting max mode to get that blood pumping and the momentum going, because otherwise I don't really see him punishing much of what Viper has been doing. Viper is dancing all over him, and I think she's the one who is choosing to stop her barrages. It's not so much the punish from original Crush that's stopping her.
Yeah, but that last game, that last round, just dominant for JoeCrush. She barely got a chance to press any buttons. So it's a bit of A, a bit of B, and I wonder if she's just getting in her own way too much, like you're saying.
Could just be a consistent barrage in an attempt to shut Geese down. We are heading to Violet Systems once more, though, as the wall carries have been crucial, especially when dealing with Geese. You can't just sidestep after the Reppuken. Not that the Reppuken is the panic option, of course, but I have seen them come through a couple of times, and Viper has reacted accordingly, so she seems to have that cue really calculated, and Crush will think twice before sending any more projectiles. And here we go, everybody.
Ooh, yeah.
It's time to start, and Crush is going to open Viper right up.
Yeah, it took a hefty amount of damage to start the round, but not at all deterred. Putting on the pressure and a point-blank double Reppuken, dodging around the handspring and into a throw. Not quite going to finish it off, but PitVyper in a very, very dire position, and that uppercut seals the deal. Round 1, JoeCrush.
JoeCrush once again finding the first opening and also in max mode, so this will be a guaranteed wall carry as the pressure continues on with the Reppuken as well, and wow, Viper just cannot stand up, and finally she does do a launcher here. How big can she push this? She will take some hefty life from Crush, but I mean, I feel like the momentum has not shifted hands. Crush was just waiting for his turn, and that's going to be another round.
Yeah, and now down to the very last round. This is PitVyper's last chance. She has to take her turn. She has to steal her turns back and keep JoeCrush from building up that kind of momentum, because JoeCrush has just been running wild this game. Obviously fired up from how the last one went, and maybe fired up from my false match end call because I got the turns wrong. You know, maybe he heard that and he was excited, and now he's coming in here ready for blood, trying to make my prophecy come true.
Now let's look at the range they're playing at. You can see PitVyper much more willing to take a wider approach to occupy most of the stage. At one point, force Crush to whiff, and that's earning her many, many exchanges positively. However, max mode is activated once more. Oh no! It's still not going to represent the victory, as Viper has found a new path to victory. Keep Crush at a huge distance, be able to react to the Reppuken as well, because she's not committing to any more buttons. She knows the Reppuken is going to come through, and then she will close it out, maybe even roll at once, but I have not seen her roll that much. So here we go again. Crush is going to try for his second throw. He is going to get it. The Reppuken is going to force Viper to move out of the way, and the fireball will be punished after Crush is leaving himself completely wide open. PitVyper is going to get the corner carry.
Yeah, great corner carry from her now, and that was a little counterintuitive. I thought you would think that you would want to stay close so that he can't pick you up from range, but that means you don't get to read those Reppukens. And she had all the time in the world to read and punish those fireballs, come in, force her way in, and take her turn like I was talking about, and now her tourney is starting to look very much alive.
The one problem I will point out here, though, is that Viper went for a launcher kick that led to nowhere, only 2 Reppukens being eaten up by her afterwards. And here she goes, continuing on the pressure, now on the backside, the original Crush Not a good look on the movement there. The bar has yet to load to max, and here we go again, dude. It's all about the pressure from the max mode. It's about time he spent that bar and still about to get another one, so this might be a double max mode if he does get another one. That's the bar, dude, but the low fairy from PitVyper is going to open it right up. Once again, the corner carry, who's going to get this next? He is going to win it on Crush on that last exchange. That was do or die, all or nothing, and he is now in grand finals. Whew.
I am not at all surprised, but what a performance from JoeCrush, pulling it out at the last possible moment, knowing that his back was against the wall, not at all deterred, not at all scared off by Chloe's offense and movement, and able to send PitVyper down to losers, where, you know, she might come back. She could come back and become his grand finals opponent. Might happen. But right now, the streak continues as he remains her bracket demon. You know, still 70% to 30%. She can beat him. She has beaten him, but no luck this time.
No luck indeed. But it was still a great set. I enjoyed this one very, very much. Damn. It's a very good learning set as well as to how to play against Geese if you are lucky, Chloe. The adaptation that Viper brought to the table on the last few rounds, the range that she was playing at, that was beautiful, but unfortunately, it still came down to one last exchange in which the Geese ended up on top. And here we go, it's about time for us to start seeing the loser semis. We're once again in best of 3, so this is the qualifier to losers finals. Whoever wins this set is going to move on against Viper. Oh, wait a minute, you see those accusations? Who's the imposter here?
Oh, we have an imposter. One of them is not the real player. We're getting some sus activity here. We might be in some trouble. Where are all the crewmates? We might need to call a meeting. We might need to get a bit of convening going on. Did anyone see VicariousTim vent?
Any leads, guys? Who was on cams this last round?
Get ready for the next battle.
Nobody claiming cameras, so we can't really raise any accusations. I guess it's all going to come down to this duel. Whoever loses will be ejected from the tournament in 4th place. It's Booster against Tim. Yeah, indeed. The ship, the tournament, and Twitch chat if Anya wants that to happen. But that's a story for another day as we are going to get right into it. It's time for the... I don't want to call this a 100% grappler duel, as I am sure that Tim will find a way to play around said grabs from Booster, but if he does commit to being aggro, you are playing fire with fire, better send a message of superiority. It seems, though, that Booster is the first one to get that first blood.
Yeah, and I mean, that is what their movesets are built around. Armor King more so than Dragunov, who does have a lot of meaty damage setups and a lot of good strings, lots of kicks, lots of punches, but it's Sambo versus pro wrestling at the end of the day, and it might be interesting to see what they can do on the metaphorical mat.
It seems that it's all coming down to those punishes, but Booster will only get eaten up after another great corner carry from Tim. What will be the next power crush? Now he has rage, but the whiffs are going to be too much as Booster is going to punish low. It's on to round number 2, and the first poke coming from Booster, very, very mild punish.
I like Booster's composure. He doesn't panic. Even if you have him in the corner, he doesn't just start pressing wildly. He's looking for his opportunities, he's looking for his chances, he's thinking about his options, and you can see that every move he makes is carefully considered.
Absolutely. You can also see some of that defense that we saw from Crush, I think, is happening here as well, as he is becoming a wall when he wants to, not letting Tim get much. Also getting some throw breaks here, but the pressure is still building up as Tim is going to get the wall bounce into the final kick. 2 rounds have gone by, and Team seems to be adapting, but finally Booster is going to start playing a lot more aggro.
Yeah, that patience might actually be his downfall, because if you're too patient, you can't get anywhere. You're just waiting for your turn and it'll never come. You have to take your turn sometimes, as he did there with that long string of punishing joint locks. Whoop. Going for that overhand, going for the overhand again and again, blocked each time, but Booster taking his turn back, a good lariat into a juggle, the kick, the juggle, that is KO, 2 rounds up.
And so, The fact that this is a best of 3 makes it a lot more dangerous, as Tim cannot seem to break anything else that Booster throws at him. Once again whiffing, and Booster is going to punish accordingly. Not quite another another wall carry to the other side, but this might be the beginning of the end, as that is going to be the round. First game goes to BoosterBlast.
Whew. And what a way to close out the game, too. I've mentioned this before, that I like his fundamentals. I like his patience in play. He doesn't panic. He doesn't get too reckless. Sometimes he's a little overly patient. But you can see that he's very, very textbook with his fighting style. He is relying on whiff punishes. He's relying on frame traps. He's waiting for you to take your turn and make a mistake that he can exploit. And when you do make that mistake, oh boy, does he exploit.
Oh no, it's the emergency meeting time? Really? Tim's calling emergency meeting? After losing that first round?
How convenient.
Yeah, that's sus. I wouldn't call emergency meeting after that, but hey, you do you, Tim. It's not getting him kicked out just yet.
Yeah, not just yet, not quite yet, but there's still time. And of course, both of them in their best attempt at Amogus with the costumes. But I think, personally, I think Tim's Amogus is a little better. He's got the mask looking a little better. You know, there's only so much you could do with Plague Doctor. But maybe that's what the imposter would want you to think.
Yeah, that's exactly what imposter would say. I don't know, man. Too many variables up in here. The mental games are really good, but they're also really sus.
And you know what an imposter wouldn't do? Claim those Mecherino codes and help us pay these players. So get on that if you don't want to be under suspicion.
Don't be an imposter. Go claim the dollar. And so, Arena it will be for this next match. As you know, Booster seems to be on the verge of getting his losers final qualifying and getting the run back against Viper. But he needs to go through another aggro player first, and it appears that the range battles are going to come right through. As Booster, however, is the first one to try and close the gap, Tim is going to respond accordingly. No coming into my area, buddy. You're only going to eat up more punishes. The wall splat is going to come through as well. Those bounces did earn a lot of damage for Tim, but not quite it for the round.
Booster likes to try to open up with that hook to the body, that left hook, and I wonder if that entry is getting a little predictable because it's not getting him as far as it was earlier in the tournament. Oh, wow! Rounded right into a tackle, right into a throw break. What a technical display that was. That was some real good grappling from both of them.
And Tim comes out on top. After being just a little bit more insistent and great mix-up overall, more wall carries here. Booster, however, responds accordingly, just throws him down into the ground. No more opening up from Tim. No, but he does get a launcher here. It appeared that Booster was becoming the wall that he showed us he could become late earlier on, and man, you saw Tim charging up, right? You definitely saw that. The cojones from Booster.
Yeah, that was definite courageous play, and you cannot be intimidated against Armor King or you're not going to get anywhere, but that was one hell of a throw to seal round 2. Now they are even. Both of them taking this start of the round a little cautious, but Booster in there first, dealing a lot of damage with that big string, but you've got the throw break, not going to be so easy to rack up the hurt on Tim. Tim knows grapplers. He is a grappler. He is not going to be that easy. But Booster putting on a lot of hurt. A lot of hurt indeed. This is not going to be easy for either of them.
Rage available for Tim as well. But no shot for him to use it in this round as another throw is going to end things. And here we go. Possible last round for Tim. Unless he makes something big happen here. It appears that Booster will open him right up in the middle low department, but here comes the launcher from Tim, getting the wall carry once again. It appears that he always puts Booster here, but Booster has such a good plan to escape and then turn things around. The sidestep is going to earn him the revenge here, but no, the sweep! Great work from Tim, as he is going to once again further hurt him. Booster, no, dude, viewer extension here, and the bad combo, that's going to be the game.
What a game that was, too. What a punish there. Pulling out the Russian leg sweep to just end the round almost as soon as it started, it felt like. It felt like Tim had just gotten his momentum under him, was just starting to get going, and the next thing he knew, back grab, game over. What a game from Booster. What composure, what skill at finding and creating his opportunities. Sometimes you wait for your turn, sometimes you steal your turn, and Booster's really good at both.
And Booster will now move on to Losers Finals against Viper. Mouse and keyboard Tim has been voted off. He was not the imposter. No, all this time Tim was not the imposter. And I was over here accusing him of being said imposter. No, Tim, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we might be coming down to the last imposter and the last crewmate. It's hard to tell. But what if there's more than one imposter? Then we'd really be screwed.
Oh no, that means that... Wait, the only remaining players here are Booster, Anya, Viper, and Crush. Oh no. If that's an even draw, that means that the imposters have won.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, there's also us commentators, but how do you know we're not the imposter?
Oh,
Imposter.
You're right. You're totally right.
Yeah, how do we know?
Well, I, for one, live in a place with no vents, so I can't vent. There is, of course, a drain in my shower, but I don't fit through there, so I can't vent, meaning I'm not the imposter.
That's a very convenient excuse. I mean, just extremely convenient.
Buddy, I'm huge. I'm 6'2". I don't fit through that.
So you say.
Okay, smart guy, let's see your excuse.
My excuse is I'm too smart to vent because people would expect an imposter to vent.
You see, that could be the double mind game. That's what an imposter would say.
Yeah, but that's also what an imposter would say. An imposter would say that, an imposter would say that, an imposter would say that venting is too obviously an imposter move. And meanwhile, PitVyper with a rematch against one of her big bracket rivals because she took her first win against Booster earlier in the tournament, and now Losers Finals is a rematch. They are coming together once again, and I wonder if Booster has a plan to deal with that lucky Chloe, because he came very, very close to sealing the deal last time.
We saw him adapting to the roles on the go earlier, but no Infinite Assure. For starters, of course, it's going to be the Keep of Enlightenment, once again, but Fakaram stage. So the breaks benefited Armor King a little bit earlier on, but I'm sure that Viper will have her own plan to take care of those. Here we go. Starting out, it seems that Booster is going to aim for a perfect as he does not let Viper breathe. That's going to be another throw. Not quite the round yet. He is not going to go for a perfect, but it was in the table. On the table.
I really liked that aggressive start. He was just trying to take his turn immediately and put PitVyper on notice. He really wanted to get in PitVyper's head and keep her from pressing any buttons, kind of show her the tempo of the match to come, and that might have done it. PitVyper still has a lot of rounds ahead of her. This is still a first to 5 game, but that really hurt. That really showed a lot of punishment. And that was a perfect there for Booster, who maybe really has adjusted to the game plan, maybe really has adjusted to Lucky Chloe. Hopefully this isn't just a flash in the pan, because a lot of things could go right for PitVyper, or a lot of things could go wrong.
It appears that this is a good start to the round, but as I say it, that's the first whiff that's going to lead to a big percent to a big punish from Booster, and
ducking the lariat!
Huge whiff, but at the same time, taking care of the movement that it provides after whiffing. Booster will get a very short launch. Man, not a big punish from that, kind of dropping the bag. Booster is going to lose the round because of it.
Yeah, that was some slick play from PitVyper because she kept baiting out the punish attempts and making them whiff with her ducks and rolls, and that left her able to exploit the opportunity and take the round, keeping Booster from building up too much momentum and getting too comfortable. Right now, he's piling on the punishment there in that corner, but he's got to keep in mind that she's very slippery, she's very devious, very evasive. At any moment, she could pull the rug out from under him.
Speaking of which, getting a corner carry, this might just be what she was looking for, even on rounds once again. Looking like a different player compared to the first 2 rounds that we just saw. But here we go. It's time for BoosterBlast to go for his own cartwheels, facing off against Lucky Chloe's consistent mobility showcases. The wall is right there. The menace of breaking is also true, but Viper is going to keep on pushing towards the center. This is where she likes to play, and this is the range that she prefers. Can definitely react to most of what Armor King brings to the table. Dancing on him once again. The pressure just won't stop, but the breaks are coming through. Whoo!
That was one heck of a match. Both of them trying to put each other on notice and give each other their best. And that's how you know a good rivalry is forming. When it seems like it brings out the best in both players. Both of them start playing on another level than if they were playing against random people. Both of them start doing things you never would have thought they could do. And PitVyper really adjusting on the fly there, doing a lot to put herself back on the map.
And this is technically her third game consecutive that she's won against Booster. Now, considering the last set that they just played and now this one. So yeah, the winning streak is building up. Granted, not without a huge fight, as she did lose the first 2 rounds. So that was a very big reversal she's pulled off. Hopefully, that momentum has yet to stop. It's time to go to the counter pick. Reminder that earlier on, it was PitVyper who counterpicked to Infinite Azure, so I sincerely doubt it's going to be on the board, but it will be, the Walking Dead stage. Okay.
Last Day on Earth. I think that makes sense. He wants to keep her from having room to roll around and get around him, wants to have an easier time cornering him, and doesn't want a stage break, because a stage break could open the stage back up for her and give her more time to move around and get slippery. You know, Last Day on Earth, you don't have quite that many openings. You don't have as much of a chance. But we'll see how that works out, because Chloe starting this off with a barrage of offense, PitVyper keeping him on the back foot.
PitVyper here. Good response on the get up option. However, Booster keeps setting these huge crushes.
Look at the difference between these two characters, though. Chloe does this huge string and does that much damage. That's about as much damage as Booster did with 2 hits.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man. You don't need to win neutral that many times if your punish game is so good. Granted, Booster is going to let Rage whip right there. The air is going to not reach Lucky Chloe, as we get the first round victory for PitVyper, and still opening up Booster. However, the back turn to him, not going to lead to a big punish. Booster only now gets another push, and PitVyper can't seem to escape this next throw. Gets the second throw, though.
And into the flying throw. Good spike from Booster, but getting a juggle for his trouble. But able to whiff that, though. He was patient getting up into the Rage Art. What's this going to do? Whiffing the Rage Art. That was a miscalculation, and now Booster has taken the second round.
Even score once again. The pressure is building up, though. As you know, Lucky Chloe, like we said already, you lose neutral 2 to 3 times. That could be your round live. And they are fighting not just for the round, but the tournament life again, as this is an elimination set. BoosterBlast is going to eat a lot of damage as he is by that van, but does not take long for him to claim back the control. Granted, PitVyper is not earning much and hit confirm. We do see her, though, keeps on pushing. They're both in rage drive, in rage area. Oh no!
He gets it! I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be the round.
Definitely will be.
And he gets it! Finishing things off with a Rage Art, as if to say, 2 can play at that game. I am noticing that Armor King, Booster, is playing a little less aggressively these past couple rounds. He was really in Chloe's face the whole first game, and a bit into the first round of this one, but playing more conservatively now. Maybe needed to be a little less conservative, because that was the entire round that went by as I spoke.
There is one more element to consider. PitVyper was at a big disadvantage in rounds in the last game, and she made it back even then. Now reading what BoosterBlast is about to do, that's a turnaround after the quebradita through the legs, and this will be the game. PitVyper is up 2-0, and both games have gone to the 5th round.
Yeah, so Booster definitely not overwhelmed. Definitely has a place in this match. Definitely on PitVyper's level. This is not someone getting washed, even though it is 2-0. He's making Chloe and PitVyper work for every single round one. And the thing with Armor King is you really only need one bad choice, one bad read, one bad call, and he's right back in things, and he is stomping you flat. As we saw with how smoothly he was able to whip out that Rage Art. So I would not be surprised if PitVyper plays a little more carefully to start off this third game, but Booster really has to turn it up, really has to start flattening the gas, I think.
Absolutely. You need to bring things down to a crawl sometimes, but that same patience could cost big time. It is game number 3, though. It's do or die. Will PitVyper earn another one to make the historical set count a bit more even? Or will Booster look at his own history and say, wait a minute, what am I not doing that used to work? And one more thing, I don't see PitVyper rolling as much as in the first game. Even then, she could still have that ace up her sleeve if she wants to go for something different in this last match. Let's get into it. Round 1 in Violet Systems once again, and it's the first launcher for PitVyper.
Yeah, Booster really yielding his turn there, where maybe he didn't need to, just trying to back off and wave dash away to start the round, maybe wanting to open things up and wait for her to whiff, but she is on him like glue and not giving him any room to breathe. He's barely gotten a punch or two off, doing some damage now, but he's on that last sliver of health, where one bad trade and this round is over, and there we go, as I was saying.
So PitVyper really does not let her foot off the gas, as Booster can't seem to stop her, but the counter launcher will not lead to much. That's the other thing. Booster definitely earns the neutral wins, but he is not pushing as hard as he previously was, be it the sidestep from PitVyper or just a good awareness of what button Booster just pressed to punish accordingly. Granted, they are pretty much subbing each other on their tracks now, as neither can get much going. Booster finally gets a string here, puts Lucky Chloe on rage though.
Yeah, and that might be
no!
it. Let's see what happens. Whiff. Nope, no whiff. Yes, whiff, but not gonna matter. That closes things out, and now PitVyper on set point.
Reminder that she will have those 2 hits on the rage activation. It's time for the possible last corner carry of the entire set. Booster seems to be getting a little lost in the progress.
I like that throw, though.
Yep, that is a good one.
Oh, no! Straight into a throw, and not going to take that one. Wait a minute. What's he going to do? He's going to pull it off. That boot to the sternum, closing out the round, as if to say, I am not done yet. That's like, you know, to bring things back to wrestling, that's like when a guy hits a big move on The Undertaker and, like, steps away to showboat, and Undertaker just sits up. That's what we saw just there.
Pretty much so. It appeared that Booster was out of there, but he still shows the resilience, and PitVyper is going to end up showing her back. But Booster, again, on hit confirm, these two don't seem to be taking the hit confirms too long, as it's only poke after poke, and then somehow a big punish later on. PitVyper actually closer to earning rage, even after all that time. And here we go, corner carry time. She does get a slide launcher here, but Booster
blocking all of that. That was all blocked. Booster could even things out with one good read, one good interaction, and he gets it. We're going into a round 5 from that stunner. PitVyper is so close to closing this out, so close to beating one of her bracket demons yet again and moving on to grand finals. I have to wonder if she's too excited about it. I have to wonder if that's going to get in her head, if she's going to get in her own way, thinking about how she's going to win and what stakes are in front of her. I mean, maybe not, this isn't the highest stakes tournament, but that risk is always there, but playing quite well, I think, with these counters.
And that power crush is going to earn a big win for her mentally too, but no! Oh, dude! The throw break when she needs it the most. She does not get the other one, though. That's the KO. Booster is still in it.
Now it's 2-1. Still plenty of room for PitVyper to move, but what a comeback from Booster. What a way to put himself back on the map, back in the fight. I believe that was 3 rounds in a row.
Indeed. It was a reverse 3-round, much like what PitVyper got in the first game, but now done onto herself. as Booster is still alive and kicking. After some very crucial interactions too, like let's not forget that it appeared as if PitVyper was going to get the win, getting that one last hit near the wall. Could have been something big, but again, hit confirm seems to be lacking from both fronts. Hopefully this last game is a bit more clean in that front, but hey, it might also be the nerves getting to them, right?
Yeah, it might be. I was talking about that, how the nerves can really kick into effect. Not just when you're close to losing, but when you're close to winning. And you can get in your own way, you can overthink, and overthinking is a real big problem in fighting games. It's like the centipede. You can't think about how you walk, because then you won't find yourself able to walk anymore. You'll just freeze yourself. And that can happen. We're going back into Infinite Azure, which, as we've seen, bit of a mixed bag. Lots of room for Chloe to move around, but potentially too much room. And, of course, neither of them going to be able to count on that corner pressure.
This was PitVyper's counter pick earlier on in the first set, though. So this is where she was able to move around and really catch Booster off guard, but Booster starts out with a bang. As he keeps carrying PitVyper big time. Oh no, PitVyper, now that she decides to roll, she's going to get punished for it as Booster gets another throw. Might even be looking at a perfect here as he is going to get a perfect. Yeah, wow.
What a chain throw to close things out. Booster's saying that he's read the book on PitVyper. He's used to her tricks. Taking a bit of punishment there with the cartwheel, but not going to be too big a deal. Not going to be too much damage. Booster keeping himself in the fight admirably and really doing a good job baiting things out.
Booster finds another throw here as PitVyper can't seem to escape. But the double roll and the throw break still from Booster. Great reactions overall. Notices when PitVyper is getting a little too close, too comfortable, giving her back once again. And this carry will almost, no, it won't almost.
No, not quite, not quite. Not there yet, but one good interaction away. And that was all blocked, so it's one punish away. That jab does it. Going up 2 rounds, nothing. This could be a no-round Brown if she's not careful.
Granted, still with a big menace that PitVyper could get the comeback, but she does not break any part of this. Granted, I believe that if you try and break the first one and you miss, I'm not sure if you can break the remainder of it. In the first chance of breaking those chain throws.
I'm not sure either.
Still, might be more than one shot.
You can break the second throw.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. But if you miss the first one, do you lose a chance to break the second? This is really bad, by the way, after all that. But PitVyper uses rage accordingly, leaves Booster with rage of his own, but the low is going to get him.
You could see her waiting for that. You could see her waiting for her moment and knowing exactly what she was going to do. I would not be surprised if that rage art was either a mistake or her trying to bait him into coming in, because she went right for that low sweep like she knew what was coming.
Good chance here for PitVyper, as now hit confirm is leading to big punishes. PitVyper looking a bit more confident, and granted she does need to play solidly as this is her last shot. Her possible last shot before a potential reverse 3-0 as well. If Booster wins this game, he brings it down to the decider, but PitVyper gets another opening. Last poke is gonna do it. The breakdance kick once again brings us down to the last round.
Final round once again. I feel like most of these fights between them come down to the final round. It shows you just how evenly matched they are. These two are very good rivals who bring out the best in each other gameplay-wise. As you can see from how good they are at reading each other and punishing each other like that. And that is set point for PitVyper, who won that almost before I even saw what was happening on my screen. What pressure, what a good read, what a way to close things out, and what performance from Booster, who might or might not have been one of the imposters, really bringing PitVyper to the breaking point. But now their overall history against each other is tied. It's 2 wins to PitVyper, 2 wins to Booster.
And now that the set's over, I will take a chance to ask Tekken experts out there and experts in the Armor King and King matchup. You know you have 2 chances to break the chain throw from King and Armor King, right? If you don't break it in the first one and you try, but you fail, do you still have that second chance to break it? Or will you just go through the animation? That's my question there, because what if you don't try to break it at first, then you go for the second attempt and you do get the break? That will just end the animation, right? But what if you tried in the first one, failed? Is your punishment eating the entire throw? That's my question.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't know, but I'm going to keep an eye on chat. And Kwame Luck says third.
Third. Anya, ¿tú sabes?
¿Cómo, perdón?
Si Armor King y King te hacen este chain throw, donde te hacen girar y todo, tienes 2 chances para romperlo, ¿cierto?
It depends on what, en qué cadena sea. Apenas que le preguntes a Booster.
Okay.
He's gonna tell you for sure.
Alright, we will ask Booster later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while we're working that out, some spice in the chat as Unraveled says, if Joe wins in Grand Finals, they will give him 5 subs. So that is really throwing some stuff in the pot. And let's see if we can throw some more stuff in the Macherino pot. We've got plenty of codes. And Mark Olveda saying that there's a break for each subsequent chain throw. So I guess that wraps that up.
Yeah, there we go. So there is always a chance. So PitVyper, you know, for whenever she has to play against Booster again, I guess she will keep that one in mind as there's always a chance. But hey, she still came out on top. The history between the two is looking a bit more even now as Pit got that victory. It's now time for the run back, though. These are the best 2 players in competition. It's time to see PitVyper against JoeCrush in the Grand Finals.
Here we go yet again. If I'm PitVyper, I wonder if this is exhilarating or just stressful, because the entire back end of this tournament has been full of my bracket rivals and bracket demons, and here I am against JoeCrush yet again, who I have beaten before, but has shown so many times that somebody can get some momentum going, and he can just crush them flat. You know, I don't want to make him out to be invincible. He's not perfect. No one's perfect. Even me and Arslan Nash lose. But JoeCrush, definitely the man to beat tonight, and showing that he's earned his reputation and earned the dominant string of victories he's had. As you can look anywhere, you can look somebody up. FG Combo, Start GG, just looking him up on Liquipedia or something. JoeCrush is there for a reason.
Absolutely. A reminder that he did not drop a single game last set that he just played against PitVyper, and is not thinking of dropping one more. Actually, if there's one thing that Crush does super well compared to everyone else, it's hit confirms, as he always gets something going from whatever hit he lands, and that's the first perfect of the Grand Finals.
What a way to start off Grand Finals, too. Just getting her right up against that fence and just punching her and punching her and punching her with no breaks, really. Just endless hit confirms, really putting PitVyper on notice about the kind of player she's up against. And Jack's offensive barrage is in full swing. Already a lot of damage on PitVyper, although she is starting to give back as good as she takes.
PitVyper definitely putting the pressure onto JoeCrush, and that's going to be it's for the first round. You know, Power Crushes might just end up helping PitVyper quite a bit, as Crush, it's not that he is too trigger happy with his 1s and 2s, but PitVyper can definitely win big if Crush decides to press the button when he's not in a safe spot. Granted, he does get the launcher here, and Pit is going to eat a lot of damage off of this 1 exchange. Keep on trading 2 to get him off of you, but you need those hit confirms too.
I like the defensive work here from JoeCrush, too. Just blocking patiently, waiting for his turn, knowing it will come, yielding ground to get her to overextend and make herself punishable and do something unsafe, which might be leading him to take the second round. That is his second round 1 of the set.
Original Crush, JoeCrush, eating a lot of damage right here as PitVyper gets a launcher afterwards. Now the Crush decided to move forward, and the wall carry is going to be heavy-handed. The wall is not going to let JoeCrush go. PitVyper keeps on building up that pressure, but she will finally be punished big time. Dude, look at all that damage, plus Crush was in rage mode, and that's going to be another round and the game.
What a way to close out Game 1 of Grand Finals. Doing that as if to send a message. What a painful way to beat somebody. You know, he didn't even need Rage Art there, but he whipped it out. He showed it. He's like, okay, I got this. You're going to get it.
Original Crush, though, definitely felt the pressure at some points as PitVyper was super close to clutching the round and maybe even starting a reverse 3-0 in rounds, but hanging on to his lead, Crush did not forget about his hit confirms, and again, that's really what's setting him apart from everyone else. I feel like people got some good combo starters, but then couldn't do much with them, yet Original Crush, Mr. JoeCrush, gets ahead, and you never know when it's going to end.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like how well he's able to put himself back into it. He is never overwhelmed, even when he's losing. He's got his game plan, he's got ways to get himself out of these situations, which shows his wealth of experience. He's been in these jams before, and it never shows in his face. It never shows in his gameplay. He never panics. He never just starts matching, even against Lucky Chloe, who is a character purpose-built to get people to tilt, really.
This is going to be PitVyper's counterpick, though, as we are going to have much more wall pressure. I think that's where she shined most. She did find some exchanges in which Crush was just unable to escape. The one round she got was characterized by all that punish she got on set walls. So let's get right into it. Once again, it's market time, everybody, or Bazaar. And so PitVyper starts with a lot of pressure being put onto herself, but the dancing is once again what keeps her ahead. Crush is only going to get a couple of hits out of that exchange.
Yeah, that looked damaging, but really, life lead-wise, she was quite ahead of him until this combo here, and she's doing a great job blocking what he's got coming. She really seems like she's very familiar with his offense, and she's looking for ways in, forcing him up against the wall. You would think that would be Jack7's trademark. That would be his bread and butter, but it's really Lucky Chloe's game so far. That is really paying off for her, and PitVyper taking the first round. Not at all a one-sided round, very back and forth, but putting JoeCrush on notice that she does know how to fight him.
JoeCrush can't seem to read the mix-ups, but here we go. The throws come right through. The spine breaker is going to be huge, as once again, Crush is on the verge of earning this round right here. Man, so many trades that seem to be going either way, but Crush is always there, ready to punish accordingly, and PitVyper can't seem to make much use of Rage when she does have it. You know, for this entire top 8, many people have been in Rage, but they either ended out with a regular combo, or they just lose the round before being able to whip out their own.
Rage Arts can be a bit situational, and you have to make the right read on when it's time to whip it out. I'm not surprised that people either don't go for it or don't recognize the opening, especially in a situation like this, where you really only need a bad interaction or two to get crushed, because JoeCrush is playing an absolute bulldozer of a character and fighting style. He's willing to take one to give one, and when he gives one, he's hurting you more than you're hurting him.
Here comes the barrage once again, though, as Crush might start a wall carry, but no, PitVyper is going to get a launcher on the get-up. And is going to read the sidestep roll. That's going to be big for PitVyper. Crushed it down. And there we go. That's going to be the round here.
A very, very even second game so far, sorry. They are not backing off from each other, and I like PitVyper's unwillingness to be bullied. You can't scare her off. You can't make her go meek and docile. You can't get her to just turtle up, which most people would be tempted to do against such a high damage character. She is coming after Jack with everything she's got in every interaction.
This particular one, though, seems to be really complicated for PitVyper to get across, and yes, that's going to be the game for Original Crush. One more game, and he is gonna be your champion, but PitVyper gets the last say on that one. Will she bring us to Infinite Tour again? That's where she seems to be doing best overall.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. That didn't pay off, that attempt with the market, which I wasn't sure would go out that way anyway. I was not sure if that would end up paying off like she might have expected, because there's a lot of ways to corner Jack, but then you're cornered too. You don't have any way to get away too. So really, it's kind of odds and ends. It's trade-offs, and we'll see if that ends up mattering, or if they do a switch to Infinite Asher. But really, more so than just the stage, it's how she's playing. You know, you can't boil it down to, oh, this stage, that stage. Let's see, though, because she has a long mountain to climb to get back into this.
For sure. This is not the end of it all, but it is looking kind of grim going forward. The last stage of choice needs to be key. It will be the Mishima Dojo, though. Breaks
Interesting choice.
The wall can break here, but it's more so about the corner, I think. How she will be able to get those wall carries and corner Jack. But like you said, it's a two-way street in that sense.
Yeah, but Lucky Chloe doesn't do well in the corner. She does fine if she's backed up to the wall, but if she's cornered, she doesn't have room to make those rollouts, to do the side steps, and she really can't do the super mobile style that she's used to. So that might be something that she wants to look out for, especially because JoeCrush, I almost called him Jack, only has to win one more game. She has to win 6 games in a row now.
Round 1. Fight.
Well, it starts with this one if she does have still that gas on her tank. And here we go, getting some very good crushes right here as she keeps on dancing on Original Crush. Finally, though, he got some damage out of the exchange, and PitVyper, that momentum she had been building up might be gone as the traits keep coming through. Crush is also on rage.
Oh, got her to whiff, punishing that, but not able to get the deal sealed. And there we go.
Round 2.
That was a really good combo to close out the round. You saw how she drove him back, got him to open up, and then came in with that uppercut to seal the deal. That was really, really good.
Speaking of sealing, though, it appears that Crush... Oh, no! He can't quite seem to find that last hit on the extension, and Viper will simply attempt the heel kick, earning some punish right here, though.
Oh, a good duck to get that to whiff. They're both on similar amounts of health. She blocks it, but doesn't block that, and that is going to be the round, and what a way to end the round. Can you imagine winning a fight by just falling on somebody?
I mean, depends from how high I'm falling on said person. I might hurt myself, but definitely a flashy way to end things. As Jack, once again, Crush has shown us that Jack is not the fastest character, but the way he plays definitely seems to be lightning fast. However, here, it's going to be almost a perfect, as only the first exchange went the way of Crush. And here we go. Match point for PitVyper, as she might just be able to put herself on the board, but she needs to close it out, and Crush is going to punish her for her attempt to keep the pressure up, and the launcher will not happen either. PitVyper has gone to these a few too many times now, and Crush has adapted.
Yeah, Crush is very used to that duck under, because you saw how easily he broke that. She goes back to that well a lot, going between the opponent's legs, and he was looking for that, but now she's not doing it. Now she's got him to look for that, and she is going to do something else. She's going to roll into him, she's going to do those rolling kicks, and she's got him on a sliver of health. You know, he's got rage unlocked, but it might not matter. It might not matter if she's able to break these throws. Doesn't break that, so now we're one good interaction away, and there's the flop again. And he's putting himself on tournament point.
Catch hold and wait from the Jack, not an easy feat to accomplish, and already getting the first big interaction here. A lot of damage on PitVyper from that one move.
JoeCrush has been in this situation so many times, and he can smell the blood in the water. This is becoming his game. He could make it happen right now. He could seal the deal here and now. One good hit away. She's frozen up. She's trying to figure out what to do. She's taking some punishment. She's juggling him. She's getting him on the back foot, but he just needs one good hit. When's it going to come? Is it going to come? What's he going to do? He's taking that punishment. Handspring ends the tournament. Handspring ends it. That's the championship. That's the tournament. JoeCrush has won!
That's it, everybody! We have our winner! Crush is going to end things with Jack staying true to his spirit and did not drop a single game in the tournament. This guy, absolute master.
He dropped one, but you know, one doesn't do. One, yeah, the round that the match that you were gone, he dropped that one.
But, okay, sorry.
Yeah, but, you know, you don't need to lose one. You need to lose a set. And nobody got him to drop anything. Just a clear, dominant run through the top of the bracket and showing everyone why the name JoeCrush is respected and feared in the Tekken community. And, of course, as they're saying in chat, because they figured it out, JoeCrush was the imposter.
Indeed.
I mean, why do you think he was gone so long? Why do you think it took so long to get him? The real JoeCrush stepped out, and his doppelganger stepped in and started playing the rest of the tournament.
Hey, he was taking notes of his intel to accuse everyone else of being imposters, but it does seem like we are done here, and we are setting up for the raid, so Anya, it's a time for us to say goodbye.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna share y'all's social media one more time if y'all wanna say anything to the chat before we go on a raid.
Well, thank you guys for being here. If you did enjoy the commentary, we appreciate your follows. Has been the first time in a while that I got to see some good-ass Tekken and commentate some good-ass Tekken, but I definitely had a great time.
Yeah, it was a wonderful night. I had a lot of fun commentating this with you. I had a lot of fun calling these matches, watching this good-ass Tekken, and, of course, you guys in the chat were a wonderful audience. You played along, you contributed to the Mascherino, you really made this a lively event that was a real thrill to commentate. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, the players. Thank you, the organizers, and I hope everyone has a lovely Sunday evening.
Bye-bye.